Dershowitz still suing you or what?
Oh, he's a piece of shit. He's just like I think he's too busy getting a massage from a 50 years old Russian woman named Olga. I think.
Oh, you even know the woman?
Oh, of course. I mean, he talks about it. I mean, he's the one who said it when they said like, "Hey, you've been like in the presence with younger women on Epstein Island." It's like, no, I only went there once. I was with my wife, and I had a massage. My underwear's on, and she was a 50 years old Russian woman named Olga. And if you know anything about Epstein, you know that he will never have 50 years old women hanging around.
I don't think he liked them.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, maybe he meant, I don't know, maybe he meant 4 17 years old women or
something.
or 5 12 years old women, whatever the math is. And I don't know. Maybe he just added up in his head and just like came up with 50.
Well, if I could get like a drum roll of just like your facial reactions every time he's talking and just play that on repeat, that'd be pretty entertaining.
No, actually, the craziest thing that he said when we were discussing on the Piers Morgan interview, and I was telling, and we were talking about is Epstein an Israeli or a Russian agent, which in itself is a very stupid question, but. And then he said, well, I knew him. I was his lawyer. If he would have told me that he was a Mossad agent, I would have got him off. And I was sitting there. It's like,
yeah.
So I was like, wow. I mean, so where do I apply? I mean, do they have health benefits? I mean, I would join the Mossad for health benefits. I will do it for health insurance. Well, I would do it. I mean, do they do what? Do we have residuals? Do we have bonuses on each sabotage or like espionage we do? It's just like, it seems to be like a very good paying job, not just because you're going to be like an undercover agent. It's because even if you like being found out, you're just gonna get off the hook because
That's
like,
right.
hey guys, like Mossad. This is like my, this is like my out to like get out of jail card. It's like, what the hell, man?
Just call the White House 1-800 number.
Why I can call the no? We need to call the people in power. We need to call Tel Aviv so we can
Right.
That's
Seems to be a little too much of that, you know.
too much of what?
Too much of the Tel Aviv United States connection. I think we got to cool it with that a little. You know?
What do you mean cool it?
Just like cooler heads prevail. We'll worry about things here in the U.S. They worry about things there. You know what I mean?
I mean, are you saying like should we cool it or should they cool it?
Oh, both.
Because like as like I mean, because it seems that they're not gonna cool it off. So all we have is just to talk about it.
Yeah.
But if whatever I say hurts anybody's feeling in Washington or Jerusalem, I apologize, of course, because I fear for my life.
Listen, in all seriousness, though, I've watched you, especially since the beginning of the war, when you did those first really famous appearances on Piers Morgan, and I knew you'd get a ton of hate from people that don't like you because you speak out on things. But I've always found you to be like, in addition to obviously being funny, because that is your trade, like you really come with a lot of evidence on things, and you're brave about speaking about some things that maybe some people, especially at the beginning of the war, did not want to hear, or conversations that didn't need to be had. So, you know, now that it's like almost, we're coming up on 3 years in October of like you really being in the spotlight with this, you know, what's it feel like to be one of the go-to voices in the world that people look to for an opinion on probably the most controversial matter that exists?
Well, that sentence in itself is ridiculous because, you know, the fact is I also look at myself as a comedian. And when people tell me like you are the go-to voices, it's like, no, that's it's I don't think it's fair because there are other people who are much more educated than me and much more equipped to talk about this stuff. At the end of the day, I'm a satirist, I'm a comedian, and but it just tells you a different kind of truth, which is the state of the world that we're living in. People would listen if it's entertaining. People would listen if you tickle their funny bone a little bit.
Hey guys, 3 quick things. Number 1, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's a huge, huge help. Number 2, if you'd like to join my Patreon for early uncensored releases of the full episodes, you can join via the link in my description or in the pinned comment below. And number 3, if you'd like to join my clipping community for a chance to make content from the show and make money, you can join via the Discord link in my description below.
Which, it's human nature, but it's the fact that we there's a lot of horrible stuff around the world, and in order to make people care, it's just it's all about attention economy. You're competing for their attention like anything else. While things like genocide, like killing civilian, people should not compete for attention for these things. It should happen naturally. So it's a kind of a bittersweet. I appreciate like the very nice words, but I said, no, man, this is not how it should be. It's and that's why it's like I'm too humbled by this. I'm in a position that I didn't ask for, and I shouldn't be in. There are people who should be leading the conversation. However, it is not entertaining.
Well, listen, you're very humble about it, but I do think that there is something to like your life story and the fact that you understand this. Like, it's also, I believe you're married to your wife.
My wife is half Palestinian, yes.
Right, so it's personal at home as well, and like, as far as I know, you've had to live in the United States for the last decade plus because of issues in Egypt, your home country.
Yeah. I for 20 years of my life, I was in the medical field. I went to medicine, then I specialized in heart surgery, and then
heart surgery.
Yeah, I know, man.
Wow.
So, I can't even believe it. I don't know how. Seriously, I mean, like, all of those patients are killed. Anyways, it's fine. In medicine, it's called collateral damage. It's fine. And no, I've been 20 years in that field, and then 2011, the Egyptian revolution happened, and I found myself like doing these videos. It went viral, and then that took me into like a completely different career path, to be a host of a political satire show. And of course, that show ran into trouble with all kind of regimes and governments. Like I think I went through 3 governments in 3 years, and I wasn't liked by any. And there were different hiccup. I mean, under one government, I was there was a warrant for my arrest, and I was interrogated, which was very funny because they were interrogating me about my jokes. And then the other government, oh yeah, seriously, it was like a 6 hours, and he was like, "What did you mean by this joke?" I was like, and as a comedian trying to explain your joke to a general prosecutor, that was a tough room. And yeah, man. And
was that El-Sisi?
No, that was under the Muslim Brotherhood.
Okay.
And like you want to like do well, but also you don't want to kill it too much, or you're gonna get killed anyway. So I after and then the following, when the military came, and it's kind of like each side, each government kind of accused me of working for the other government, and then at a certain point my show was canceled a couple of times, and I had to leave. And I came here to the United States to start a whole new life, which in itself was quite humbling, because one day you had the most watched TV show in history in the Arab world, and the other day you're here and nobody cares. Nobody will give you a political satire show. Like, nobody's waiting for someone from Egypt to tell them, "Hey, this is how you make fun of your government." And so I went into a very dark phase of my life for 3-4 years, until I said, like, I need to do something here. I can't just reminisce on the past, because what the past is done. I can't just looking back. So, did
you think about going back to medicine?
No.
No.
This is how much I hated it. So I had the choice to go back, because I was licensed. I had like USMLE exams. I passed all my exams, and I could have renewed my license and go into the system again. And I chose to go on open mics and comedy clubs and start teaching myself stand-up comedy in English.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So on the first 2-3 years, I sucked big time, huge, and it was humbling, because I was that 45 years old guy, like sitting there waiting for my role in open mics with 20 years old and 21 years old, and I go up and I bomb big time. And there would be, and I always tell this, I say this this story. There were people who would know me from Egypt, like Arabs who would have been watching me, Arabs and Egyptians. They would come to the show. Oh, Bassem Youssef is here in America, and the disappointment that I saw in their eyes as I bomb one joke after the other, and then I can see their eyes telling me, Bassem. Yeah, 6 months from now he'll be driving an Uber, so it and I saw that, and I remember I was leaving a comedy club after one of my very bad shows, and then a very nice Egyptian woman came to me. It's like, why do you do this to yourself?
No.
I remember one of them tried to give me $20 or something, and then and then I improved a little bit, and then came COVID, and everybody sat at home, and there was very few scattered comedy clubs still working half capacity all around the country, especially in red states where they didn't have anything. So I told my agents, put me in all of these. And this is where actually I worked my muscle for a year, 2 years and a half. I went into the shittiest room in the country. I did the worst rooms, and I had the worst nights. And then, but that kind of built my stand-up comedy muscle, and I became much better. So coming out of COVID, I was on a different level. So I started selling out smaller theaters, smaller clubs, and bigger clubs and bigger theaters, and started to go on a European tour, Middle East. So I was already doing that. And then when the Piers Morgan interview came in 2023, that kind of pushed me higher. Mm-hmm. And I'm grateful that it happened at the time, because if that push came when I was not ready,
right,
people would come. It's he's much funnier on TV. But now people come to the shows you're much funnier in your stand-up. So everything comes in its own time, and I'm very grateful, and again very humbled by this experience, and it just reminds me all the time that you ain't shit.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's an odyssey to go from being a heart surgeon for 20 years. And then I'll come back to the Arab Spring too, because I feel like that gets so ignored, and you were in the middle of that. But then go through all that, become this amazing entertainer, but then you have to get stripped away from your home country, come to a place that is brand new, and basically retrain a comedy muscle in another language.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane that you pulled that off.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm looking back. What? I think I was in a trance. I think if I was aware of what was happening, I think I would have just pulled myself up. But also,
how often do I tell you?
Yeah. It's sometimes you go in and then you look back. It's what the hell did I do?
Yes.
Because that would not be an advice that I would give to someone in my position. Mm-hmm. And and I think it's as I said, it's just humbling. It's a constant reminder that don't be too cocky, don't be too arrogant, don't be too happy with what you have, because I lost that before in Egypt. So I went to the top and then it was taken away. So it's just it keeps you grounded.
Absolutely.
Keeps you pretty grounded, yeah.
What clicked when it really started to turn, where you started getting good with the stand up here?
What do you mean what clicked?
Was it just kind of a matter of you getting used to kind of the flow of the English language with comedy, or did you change up what kind of material you were doing big time?
It is not a moment in time. It's very incremental, because comedy is a third language. Because even if I started stand-up comedy, my English was decent. I can converse, I can have a normal conversation. But when you go into comedy, it's not just writing the punchline. It's the delivery, the cadence, the rhythm, the pauses. It's a whole it's a whole genre of music in itself, because you can say for example, I had jokes, the same jokes that I would tell it when at the time when I was sucked really hard, and then I would say it 3-4 years later. It's the same joke, on paper, it's the same exact joke. But the delivery, the cadence, the rhythm, where you pause, where you look, your body language, all of that kind of builds on it. It's you build on that. So I wouldn't say it is something that have clicked. It is more of a series of clicking Of like, oh, you say I can say this differently. I can say it this way. I can take a couple of second pauses before I throw the punchline. So it's a word of its own, and it is not just the English language. Not being you could be fluent. But the delivery would suck.
100%.
Yeah, so it's all about practice. You can say the word 10,000 times, and it's like 10,001. It clicks.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than wearing underwear that gets up in your butt crack and feels uncomfortable. If that sounds like you, then you need to check out my friends at Sheath. Sheath underwear has a true dual pouch design that keeps everything separated. So you're going to reduce that skin contact, sticking, and discomfort while also minimizing adjustments you got to make throughout the day or especially during workouts. Sheath is also made with ultra soft breathable fabrics like bamboo and classic cotton. This gives them lightweight breathable comfort that works for everyday wear or active use. And one of my favorite parts about Sheath is that it's a veteran-owned company originally invented by an active soldier. Today, their underwear is recommended by urologists and trusted by elite athletes across UFC, weightlifting, golf, and more. Right now, I'm packing for a quick overseas trip, and you know I got the suitcase filled out with Sheath. I'm going to be doing a lot of walking around, and I'm never going to have to worry about my underwear because Sheath is just that comfortable. You got to feel it to believe it. Go to sheath.com/Julian, that link is in my description below, and use code Julian for 20% off. And Sheath even offers a first pair guarantee, so if it's not for you, you get your money back. But honestly, once you try these, there's no going back. So once again, that's SHEATH.com/Julian, link in my description below, and use code Julian for 20% off. Sheath, the underwear of legends. Now, were you always working in your cultural commentary from like where you'd been? Because like you lived this whole odyssey and everything, and obviously people take their comedy from their life experience. Like were you, I don't know, in some ways through your comedy also trying to educate the audience on like, hey, by the way, get a load of this in the Middle East?
Yeah, well, when I started the show, my first special was called The Middle Beast, and it is basically my origin story, like how I started. I talk about being in medicine, and then I started, and then I came to America as Trump is becoming president.
Interesting.
So that shift was interesting. That was the story engine of my first show. My second show that I'm touring with now, it's called the Belly of the Beast, which really tells you it comes from the name. Really, it's like, what does it mean to be an immigrant from a certain part of the world that finally finds himself living inside the empire? So in the belly of the beast.
Yes.
So that kind of like, oh, I live here, but that country that I live here now, that I love, is doing damage where I left. And I am part of that machine now.
You're part of it.
I'm part of it because my taxes go to oil up that machine. So it is, and that's something that a lot of immigrants feel right now. It's like, because we all came to America for a reason. It's a great country. It's a great living. The American dream could be very rewarding if it worked out. I love it here. I don't want to actually live anywhere. I'm happy, like living in Southern California where the weather is human, and you know, it's a great place to. I like raising my kids here. I have 2 cats, so I mean I'm sad, baby. So, but you know, at the end of the, but also as much as we love the life and the comfort and the convenience, we are not happy with how our money being used to feed the beast. And the beast is feeding on our countries and our part of the world. And so it's, and I know that a lot of Americans also share that sentiment that like, we don't want our money going to all of these wars. Now for us, it's even more personal because it is happening at where we left.
Yeah.
So this is the theme of, so I draw my inspiration for comedy, not just observation, but but how I feel at the time. The Middle Beast was like, I was in this period where, I came here, and then I all go away until I become an American citizen and I settle. Here it's like, now I'm realizing that I am a part of this empire. And I'm struggling, and there's a whole kind of like moral conflicts with that, which also, I mean, it sounds dark, but it's very funny.
Yeah, I mean, look, you gotta find the black humor in life. Yeah, and that's kind of the job. But
what do you mean black humor? Are you racist?
Don't start.
What do you mean?
Early.
What do you mean? What do you mean black?
The white humor.
What do you mean black? Yeah, just call it like, unwhite.
Okay, unwhite humor.
Yeah.
How's that?
You know how
Is that woken
it's
up
like
for you?
it's the homeless now. They're the unhoused.
They're unhoused. So crazy. You really picked.
It's like I'm gonna unalive myself. It's like what happened? What happened to the fucking language of this country?
Yeah, I don't know. We're still working on it. We're trying to rebuild it.
Yeah,
you can help with that. You picked a very interesting time to come here because you've lived through that actual era of where it went really woke, and now people are going Nick Fuentes. It's just
but also there's the pendulum was moving on the other side. I'm it's the first time here for me in New York after Mamdani, and I have to say Sharia law is working quite well for you guys.
Well.
I mean, I have to say, guys, it took you some time, but now that Allah is the one and only God, and you guys should all go back and just and join Islam. Hey. Repeat after me. Ashhadu.
Wait, no. I know that. I know. I had baklava in here. I know.
This is how all you know about my culture. Baklava.
A little bit. Yeah.
Culture appropriation. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, baklava from Albania.
You just need to just accept Allah and Muhammad as his prophet, and you'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never bought the. When they were trying to make Mamdani, what was it? They're like, he's the new Islamist mayor. I'm like, I feel like him and his wife aren't exactly practicing Sharia,
I mean, the fact that you say practicing Sharia in itself is just...
Yeah, I mean, that's a loaded...
he practices Sharia. I do Sharia 3 times a week. I do split Sharias. It's just this is how words are vilified.
Yes.
Sharia, Islam, Muslim, and just do these sounds. God, but I'm sitting with my white boys, and we're having an education together.
The double D's.
The double D's, yeah. They call me what's your name again? Dev?
And Dad.
Yeah, it's like the double D's going out together. Yeah, baby. You're going out. Yeah, you're picking up women and men. Yes, New York.
Anything goes here.
Love is love.
He's been filling a lot of potholes over there, by the way. What'd they fill? Fucking 70,000 potholes?
16,000 or something.
You see, this is the power of Allah.
You ever get
Repent!
really frustrated, though? I mean, it seems like you do. Kind of an obvious question here, but really frustrated at how everything, when we look at cultures, just gets completely standardized as one thing.
Yeah,
Islam or whatever.
It's easier. It's easier just to put people in a box, because I don't have time for nuances.
Yeah.
I don't have time to understand the details and when you say Sharia, what does it mean? Or say Muslim, what does it mean? What say Sunni or Shia, what does it mean? And it goes for all kinds. It's easier just to paint, to put a stroke, to paint them with the same brush. And because now it's easier to hate them as a whole, or vilify them as a whole. It's much easier. But if you start to do nuances, no, people are different.
Right.
We don't have the capacity. A lot of people don't, normal human beings don't have the capacity to do that, and people who do the propaganda are aware of that. So they know exactly how to hit.
Yes. I agree. When you made this initial shift, though, I guess back in 2011, when the Arab Spring was popping off, and Egypt was ground zero of that, what was going on?
Yeah, ground one, because ground zero is Tunisia. Yeah, it started in Tunisia.
It did?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it started in Tunisia.
What happened there?
20, I think, was it a month or two? A few weeks before, there was it happened from Tunisia. A street vendor burned himself because he couldn't, find food or to feed his family, and that sparked a whole revolution there, and they ousted their president, who was there for about 30 years, something like that, and that kind of made other countries look. It was so actually it started from Tunis, but Egypt, because of its size. And its population, it kind of we stole their thunder.
Well, that's what got everyone's attention. I forgot about that. Maybe I knew that in the
Sorry,
past,
Tunisia.
Ground zero for Tunisia. Sorry.
Yeah.
But what were the biggest issues with Mubarak? Like you've been in there a while.
Well, you see, the issue is with all kind of developing countries where there is people asking for more freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and it all really comes down with the economics. At a certain point, and of course, like me saying that now, people will look at 2011 like, we were much better at the time. But everybody is screwed by inflation and the world economy. But at the time, it's really like a sequence. There is a certain government or a certain leader that stays too long. And then there are like all kinds of like special interests and strong lobbies, and then they take the biggest part of the cake, and then there's little left to the rest of the people, and then they use oppression in order to people do not speak about that. So it's a kind of like it snowballs into something, and that's basically the anatomy of every revolution or every uprising. And it is interesting that we talk about that because I've been here in 12 years.
Wow.
And there's a different, and I see the corruption, but it is much more dolled up.
Dolled up. What do you mean?
Dolled up. It's like there's so much makeup on it. Like here, the production has the corruption is high value. There's like you have graphics and people in suits, and
is that a compliment?
It's a backhanded compliment. It's basically saying that like there is oppression, there is corruption, there is oppression of freedom of speech, but but the governments in the West hide it well. You think you have freedom of expression, but you don't.
We don't?
No, you don't. You think you have. But I mean, we speak up. I mean, I'm sure you cannot compare the margin of freedom in the United States with the margin of freedom. Sure. But what I'm saying in relation to what America is marketing itself at. So because if you have a country like right in front of your eyes, where you have very strong lobbies, whether these lobbies belong to foreign governments or these lobbies belong to big corporations, and they openly, right in your face, buy Congress seats and buy politicians and blackmail them.
Yes.
And we know for sure that a considerable number of that government is compromised in morally unacceptable crimes. I don't want to say any names, Epstein files, but if we are sitting there, we're discussing if the possibility, or actually the absolute possibility, of the president of the United States being a fucking pedophile. We are discussing how the Congress is not releasing the Epstein files. We're discussing how every single important seat is bought right in front of your eyes because someone dared to speak about a foreign government, and then people speak about that and nothing happens. Your freedom of expression is performative.
I see what you're saying now. Because technically, like, you and I can sit here and then broadcast this out to the world and, not have an issue with things we're talking about.
I mean, it happened. If it happened back in the Middle East, you'll have an issue.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be yanked off the hair,
right.
and then nothing, and then they continue with the corruption. Here, nobody will touch you, but they will continue with the corruption.
Yeah, they'll just say.
But at least we talked about it.
Yes.
At least we discussed it.
Yeah, I hope that felt good.
At least we felt good. They just like chatting. But will anything change? Yeah. No.
I do agree with you on that point, as far as like you equating the actual levers of power that we vote into place with what free speech is.
The only difference is that here, like, you have enough resources to keep people busy and entertained.
Yes.
You have enough that goes around for people. And that enough is actually getting little, because you see now, like, there's a lot of shift of wealth. Mm-hmm. But for years, the bread and circus worked very well.
Yes.
The Netflix and the UFCs and the NBA, that's a good distraction.
You think it still doesn't work pretty well, though?
It's still for the masses. Yeah. There are people waking up, but, at the end, and maybe they're increasing number, but the masses are still into the bread and circus. I mean, look at the average American life. Most Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. Or if he's in middle class, he has much more responsibility, so they're working their ass off. Now they have a little bit of time. What do? Bread and circus, the Netflix, the movies, the UFCs, the NBAs, the baseball games, because you need to recover from that, like, very tedious, like, daily life to win bread, right? And then after that, there's a little bit of time for you to follow the news. And whatever makes it to the top of the news is what will stay with you.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, it's not like you are hiding anything. The media is not hiding anything. I mean, back in the media, censorship, yeah, you will never hear about that corruption. Here, it does not hide it, but it buries it down in the 120th line in the article.
Right.
It puts it in the tail of the news. And by the time that average American person is already exhausted, he's just like, he wanna sleep, he wanna go on his Tinder date, whatever, comes back. So, here, you just have for now, Western countries have enough to keep people distracted without oppressing them. The difference between the third world countries and Western countries is the same difference between 1984 by George Orwell and Brave New World by Huxley.
Whoa. Yeah. Ooh.
Right? Oppression by pleasure. There. Yeah, it's like oppression through pleasure.
Yeah.
Through choices. Many choices, multiple choices. It all leads to the same choice. It doesn't matter. But I gave you the illusion of choice. Back there, nothing. You cannot speak. Big brother. Everybody is watching. Here, everybody is watching you, but through your phone that you have accepted all the terms and conditions to track you.
100%. Ever woken up and immediately needed a nicotine pouch or a cup of coffee just to feel like a human? And it's kind of funny. We'll literally do everything in our power to be healthy, be it going to the gym, eating well, getting 8 hours of sleep, but then stay reliant on putting chemicals in our body just to get energy. That's why I started using Ultra pouches, and they've been a complete game changer for my focus and energy levels, which probably has you thinking, if they don't have nicotine or caffeine, what's the good in them anyway? Great question. Ultra partnered with leading neuroscientists to design these pouches. They use clinically proven nootropics and adaptogens to deliver immediate focus and smooth energy that lasts 1 to 2 hours. Specifically, this includes Infinity PX, a cleaner, smoother energy boost than caffeine, L-theanine, an amino acid promoting calm energy and attentiveness, alpha-GPC, a nootropic for enhanced mental processing, and vitamins B6 and B12. These are truly clean, plant-powered pouches designed to sharpen your mind and lift your energy, all without caffeine, nicotine, or crash. And I'm sure, like me, you've been seeing these Ultra pouches everywhere. They are absolutely blowing up. At the end of the day, these things make you feel less on edge or anxious as compared to nicotine or caffeine, and they make you realize that it's possible to feel energized and focused without either of those other two products. Furthermore, you get to choose from 5 insanely good flavors, including tropical, watermelon, and blue ras. Ultra is the ultimate guilt-free pouch, delivering instant focus and mental clarity without nicotine or caffeine. New customers can use code Julian to get 15% off your order at takeultra.com. That link is in my description below. That's takeultra.com for 15% off using code Julian. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them I sent you. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think, and I do think, if there was ever going to be a moment where enough people could wake up that, not the whole system change as much as I'd like to see that, but you see some sort of movement in the right direction, now would be the time, because it has been so in our face in a way that is even beyond the in our face it's been for decades. It has been so in our face over the past 6 months with what they've done with Epstein, and then starting a whole fucking war, and then we got missing scientists, and then this, you know what I mean? It's just like, follow the magic dragon over and over again.
So you think people wake up and this is where things change?
Not the way you want it and not the way I want it.
It will never happen. I'll tell you why.
Never.
Because so far, the bread and circus and the distraction has been working.
Yes.
Now it's starting not to work. There's still people going through cracks. And I don't know if you have noticed in the past 3 years, but with the same level of awakeness as it rises, there's a lot of oppression that rises too with it.
What do you mean?
You have seen all of these the sit downs in the universities, the American University, Columbia University, the UCLA. Have you thought in your life that you would see American students being hit brutally, dragged, and having their career ended because they would protest in colleges? Would you ever?
I see what you're saying.
Have you ever seen people losing their immigration status because they had a political? Right.
That's crazy.
Have you? So you see what's happening there?
Yes.
So as more people wake up, the machine will be more brutal. So there is a lot of brutality coming. It's not like enough people will wake up and then they will be able to change the system. The more and more people waking up, the more and more you will hear. Now you hear it openly talking about we need to revisit the First Amendment.
Yeah,
we need to, not everything should be said.
Right.
No, not everything. It's and these are used to be absolutes. So what happens is like, because it's not like the people who wake up and kumbaya will do it. You are up against a very, very strong establishment.
Yes.
And they have everything. They have the money, they have the power, they have the surveillance, they have your information. They can hurt you if they want you. We haven't seen that yet because their number of people waking up is still not posing like a threat. But once it becomes a threat, you will see the level of oppression rising up.
But it's also, here's the other thing, of the people out there waking up, how many people are like going to go out in the streets and be George Washington?
No,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna revolt? You're gonna use the Second Amendment to stand against like a militarized government?
It's like a wild thought.
Yeah, I mean, right? Okay, think of ICE.
Think of ICE.
ICE.
Yeah.
ICE is a paid militia. ICE is a paid militia. You are paid $40,000 or $50,000 bonus signing, and you are used by the government in order to impose laws outside the parameter of the laws to get people off the street. And I'm not saying that everything, but what I'm saying that there is a lot of transgression that they have done that's outside the law, that we haven't seen before. I mean, that you already
trained.
A
lot of them.
But you are seeing it. These are paid mercenaries. I mean, really, if you strip down what ICE is. Anybody can join for money. These are money for hire. So hire for like guns for hire. Sorry,
you can join in like 24 hours or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You apply and you're in.
These are paid mercenaries.
Yeah, you need a job.
And like and it's just like most of these paid mercenaries are from immigrant backgrounds, which is quite crazy.
That's also kind of wild.
Yeah, it's like Jose, go get Jose. It's just like, I can say that because I'm brown. Yeah,
but I can't say that.
Yeah, I have. I have a brown privilege. That's one privilege you cannot get.
Okay. But can you give me the brown privilege pass for the day?
No.
You can't do that.
I mean, I'll ask my brothers.
Okay.
I'll ask my brothers in ICE.
No, I do think that the more you let them get away with doing things so blatantly, like the fact that they passed the law that said you have to release the Epstein files. And that was what, Deef, like 135 days ago or something? And they're just not going to do it.
But you see, when you say it's like you have not to let them, you don't have a choice. What are the tools that you have in your hand to force the president of the United States to release? Nothing, right? I mean, have you even seen not just Trump, but the other American members of the American administrations? Like, you know, they like where there's Hecthis or Marco Rubio. It's like, guys, when are you going to do this? It's like, well, I don't know. Like they're very rude to the. It's, yeah, okay. Like, bravo, you have reporters asking the tough questions for the president, which we will never have in the third ward. But basically, they're insulting them as like, hey, like shut up, piggy. What are you gonna do about it? Yeah. What are you gonna do about it? What if they impose martial laws tomorrow? What are you gonna do about it? And because people in the West have been living in this illusion for a long time that the government cannot do that to us.
They can do it under the guise of something.
Yeah, the guise of Congress, which is already paid and bribed and blackmailed.
Less than that, though.
Yeah.
You're right, but even less than that. Think about, like, I'll never forget this. About maybe 3 weeks into the pandemic, my dad came back from the grocery store. That was like when you had to like not even look at people and everything. And he just said, he was like, people just adapted.
Yeah.
He's like, everyone is used to this. Everyone is operating on the same wavelength. And he's like, the whole world just stopped and people just adapted. And I was like, what are you saying? He's like, it's just crazy that people adapted that fast. Like something could bring us under control like that fast.
Yeah. And also, not just adaptation for like daily life. There is stuff like, for example, you know, the tariffs.
Yes.
The tariffs for no reason, we paid billions of dollars in tariffs, which later was like, you know, judged by the Supreme Court that it's unconstitutional and that the government of the Trump government should pay back. Are you going to see that money? No. Who's they going to pay it back to? Yeah, this is an infringement of your freedom on your pocket. They took money from your pocket. And the court said they couldn't do it. They should return it, and you'll not see a penny back.
Yeah,
right. the something like the merger, like Larry Ellison buying half of your media.
That's fucking crazy.
All right.
That's fucking crazy.
And he would let him because he's a big donor to him.
Yes.
So your media, your source for information, has been bought in front of your eyes as a monopoly by a single person who is the bigger donor of the IDF for the arm of a foreign country. And all of us are like, wait a minute, you cannot do that. Like, we just did. So you see, the infringement of your freedom doesn't really have to go all the way from someone knocking on your door and dragging you and putting you in prison. There are levels before that.
Yes.
And you're just like at the beginning. And this is why you need people like me. Because I need to guide you for what's to come. Because I know exactly.
Help us stop it.
What?
How about help us stop it?
No, I can't.
You're like, no, you're fucked.
I can only tell you guys, you're so fucked. This is. I am just a messenger. This is why you need immigrants like me, not for not for the cheap jobs, but as guidance.
Okay.
Yes.
You can be like our shrink.
I could be like your trauma advisors. Like, listen, that coming period is gonna hurt big time. Well, I wish I tell you it gets better, but it doesn't.
All right. Well, how about you put us there?
How come?
2011, Egypt. Shit starts blowing up. You're a doctor. Suddenly, everyone's in the streets.
Yes.
How'd you get so involved with this? Besides just walking outside.
Well, I was in my hospital shift, and I worked in Cairo University Hospital, which is the biggest hospital in there, and the Cairo University Hospital is 5 to 10 minutes from Tahrir Square. So we were in the hospital. We were actually operating in the hospital, and we were following, like, between the operations, we were following what's happening on the news. And when we saw the attack, when we saw people, like, getting injured, it just happened. Just all of the doctors. Just like I mean, we of course we manage the shifts and who take care about we worked the things, and there's many of the doctors that actually left with supplies, medical supplies, and we started to set in makeshift clinics and to kind of treat people who were injured, and we did it there was no leadership, there was nothing. We just went there, and it just like it happened. Like, doctors would come in and relieve their shifts, and a whole system, the whole medical system happened in that. And this is how you got involved, like, on the ground. At the time, there was no political calculations or political mindset of we were just going there to help the people.
Right.
And then after the revolution subsided and Mubarak left power, this was like a new chapter. And 6 weeks after the revolution, I started, I was a huge fan of The Daily Show and watching Jon Stewart. So I always imagined to have this kind of show in Egypt, but I said, this will never happen. But then when the revolution happens, oh, that's the opportunity. So I started to do the online videos, 5-minute videos. And out of nowhere, it just went viral. And in a few weeks, I got my first TV deal show, and I found myself in television. And this was like a huge shift of mine. And
had you been a really political guy before this?
No. It's story of my life. I am never the more political. I'm not the most political. I'm never the most knowledgeable. I just happen to come from a point of view of a regular, everyday person.
Yes.
So when I did these shows in Egypt, I didn't do it because I knew more politics. I just did it because I was coming from a satirical point of view of someone who's watching the news and saying this is ridiculous. When I went on Piers Morgan and talked about Gaza, it went far, not because I was politically sound, not I was politically knowledgeable. It's just because I was sitting there looking at the propaganda and I was making fun of it, which is like how people connect. It's like, oh, he's saying the stuff that we want to say, but he's just like in a different way. So the humor comes really from your point of view as a normal person looking at things from the average person point of view, not from a politically savvy expert.
Yeah.
And I think this kind of humor resonates with people more because it's our level of humor.
They see themselves in you.
Yeah.
100%. I think for so long, whether it be institutions or the people that were in them, people just saw their trust broken too many times. And I'm talking, you go back 20, 30 years with this, and we've just seen it a lot over the last 10 or 15. But, where people can be like, that guy sounds just like me, and he's asking the questions that I'm asking too, it becomes he speaks for me. And that's clearly what happened, because you catch lightning in a bottle here and suddenly become a superstar over there.
But that's what you call the double-edged sword. What do you call it? Yeah, that's a double-edged sword. Because
of what happened to you?
No, because people put their faith too much in the satirists.
Yes.
Not because we're better, because we're the only one doing our job.
Right.
Because, as you said, their trust is broken in the media, their trust is broken in politicians, and then they find me making fun of those politicians and those media figures. So it's like, oh, he knows better. He can solve the problems. Like, no. I can. And then at a certain point, for whatever reasons, mostly human reasons, I will not be able to go on. Maybe I'll get scared. Maybe I'll not be able to speak up. Maybe there are certain pressure on me. Maybe I have to just play along for a little bit as a kind of self-preservation. And this is where you see people turn against you. It's like, oh, we put our feet like to do. Like, I'm not a leader. I'm a guy with jokes. But because you're doing, people lose their trust in the people who cannot do their job, and they put their trust with like, who's doing my job. But at the end, my job is not to fix things. My job is to laugh at the things that doesn't work.
Right.
The mind just shifts here between, oh, he's just someone who relieved that anger. Oh, he's someone who can solve the problem, which I can't.
That's an important distinction too, because I think instantly, I always talk about the universal law of physics, where it's like for every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction to create equilibrium. It's nicer when the equilibrium is created from here rather than from here.
Yeah.
And I think when people righteously get really mad at people who lie to their face, they'll hear something that speaks to them, and then they'll assume that every single thing that person says must be perfect and must be right, and you're going to end up potentially creating the same thing from the other side that you sought to tear down. And you're very aware of that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
It's very easy to lose sight when you have many people adore you or support you. Yes. And you need to understand, like, at the end of the day, I told you, you ain't shit. You ain't shit.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Your wife helped keep you in line with that?
What?
Your wife helped keep you in line with that?
Oh, my wife always keeps me in line. Yeah. I mean, bless her soul. She went through a lot, seriously, and she did that while raising our kids, and she went through a lot. Like the shifts that we had to go through, different countries and different cities, different homes. She was the rock of the house.
What was it like suddenly having, the sequential governments coming after you, 1984 style, like you said, and telling you, you're too funny, too many people like you, you got to shut the fuck up, or else?
Well, I used that as a material for the beginning, which with some of my most successful episodes. But you can't laugh too hard, and and again, it's again you found yourself in a position where people are giving you way too much importance, like that you deserve. Whether the people who support you and want you to do more and go further, or the people who don't like you and want to shut you down. And I find myself like, guys, this is ridiculous. Like you find yourself in a position where you can't really go further because you're limited. And then at the same time, it's like, why is that even a threat? And when that happened, like I saw I went through the interrogation, the cancellation, the being canceled, official. Like when I say canceled, it's like nothing. He's canceled on Twitter. Right. No, it's just like canceled. And then you had to leave the country and start all over again in a completely different universe. And it as I said, it was very humbling and. It was a very, very tough part of my life.
Now, when you were doing that during the Arab Spring era, were you also commenting on, I imagine like the role of the United States in the region and the role of Israel in the region back then as well?
2011, when I did the show, it was mostly about internal politics because this is what the people cared about.
Right.
Imagine, like, Jon Stewart sometimes, or the Daily Show, talks 90% of what they do is local, about the local,
Sure.
the local problems. Every now and then they would talk about stuff abroad because America is there, because it's a superpower, it's the empire, it's everywhere. So most probably most of the problems that happens there is because the American military or American corporation are interfering somehow. But in Egypt, it was pretty much local and regional. So I wouldn't say that America and Israel at the time was on top of the topics that people wanted to hear about.
Well, your wife being half Palestinian, was her family still there in the country at the time?
Half of well, my wife was raised in Egypt all her life. She never seen Palestine. She was born in Saudi and she was raised in Egypt. Her father comes from Gaza, and but her family, her father's side family, all lived in Gaza. And after October 7th till now, I think half of the family are gone, and the other half managed to leave to Egypt.
So crazy having to leave the place you're from. Because dudes.
It's been happening since the beginning of the 20th century. It's like, it didn't happen with October 7th. It happened in 1967, in 1956, and 1948, and before that in 1936, and so it's been going on forever. But just
what was in 1936?
This is called the Arab Revolution, 1936, where at the time Palestine was at the it's called the Arab Revolt. This is where the Palestinians lost 10% of their males in that revolution against the British. And it's funny when you say, Palestine is a land with no people for people with no land. Remember that when you tell you that? Yeah. But the British, the British troops, they collected 100,000 troops from all around their colonies to come quell this revolution. 100,000 from all around the country, from all around the globe. They needed 100,000 soldiers to kill people who did not exist.
And this is when.
And this is basically what happened. It was so fierce. And I told you the Palestinian population lost 10% of its male population in this war, and this was a prequel for now. It made it easier for the Zionist gangs to kill more because they were really exhausted in that war against the British, So and after 1939, the expansion of the Zionists in Palestine was crazy.
Now you had for a long time the people of Palestine who were living under British, I guess, command at the time, but they had been there. The people there had been there for a long time. And then there was also a Christian community and also a Jewish community. Yeah. How, looking back on it, I don't know if it's like waving a magic wand, but how would you have done it differently if you were going to be like, all right, we're going to give the Jewish people their own state? Would you have just done it somewhere completely
first
else?
of all, if the Jewish people would like to have their own state, please be my guest, but not on my land. The Jewish population in Palestine have never exceeded 1 to 2% of the population, all through history, all through history, and just let's go back, because I need just to address something that really pisses me off: the fact that the Jews are the indigenous people of Palestine because they've been there. First of all, the Jewish empire under King David or whatever, it lasted 200 and 300 years, 3,000 years ago, and they were not the first one. So they were not the first, and they were not the longest. So they had 200 years, 6,000 years, 3,000 years ago, and that's it. 200, 300 years. It's like someone who would lived in Kentucky for 300 years, 3,000 years ago, and now comes and want to take all of Kentucky and all of the East Coast. It doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah. Because before there was the Canaanites, the Philistines, there were, and even the Egyptian Empire occupied Palestine for more than 200, 300 years. All Palestine and the Levant was like an integral part of the Egyptian empire,
the
pharaohs for a couple of like 1,000 years.
Yes.
So if anybody would like have claim, it should be us. And so there were people before the Jews, and there were people after the Jews.
Right.
And what really pissed me off, especially about liberal Zionists, that's like, oh, we don't believe in God. We're atheists, but God gave us Palestine. Come on, guys. I mean, like pick a lane. Pick a lane. You don't believe in God, but you believe that the same God that does not exist gave you the land, which is fucking like, someone like Bill Maher is a piece of shit, by the way. So, yeah. So anyways.
Slid down.
So, yeah, I just had to say that he's just like an asshole. Anyway, so, and then like years went by, and then there was like horrible, Holocaust and pogroms for Jewish people in Ukraine and Russia, and then in Germany.
Right.
They were really screwed. They were kicked from one country to the other, and then in the beginning of the 20th century, they decided that we need to give those people who went through hell in Europe their own state in Palestine. It doesn't make any sense. Location. And by the way, and even Palestine was not the first and was not the most special, because they tried to make in Uganda,
yeah.
In Argentina, in Madagascar.
Wait, when was Argentina?
They tried. No, these were proposed.
Okay.
The one that like kind of gave them the land, but they didn't take it, was Uganda.
Yeah.
All right. So
like 1904.
Yeah. Like so there's like 200 acres or something. So I can't remember 4,000. I can't remember. No. What's 200? Like 4,000. There was
farm.
yeah. Sorry, 4,000 acres. I can't remember the number. Okay. I think they gave them a considerable amount of land in Uganda. Yeah, I don't even know what an acre is. It's like this American
I
thing.
Still don't know what an acre is, actually. I can't eyeball it.
They offered 3.2 million.
They offered 3.2 million.
So
acres.
I was like, I was off by 3 million. I was off by 3 million. At the 200 acres, I was off by...
Yeah, I was like, they building a farm?
So now you have people who claim that they're indigenous while their ancestors lived for just a couple of hundred years, 3,000 years ago. You're talking about people who are in the present time were considering other options,
right?
In the same time. So it's like, if this is divine, like why would God like accept other options? What would even be there?
Didn't accept it.
Yeah. Now, okay. So you accept it because your religion told you that like I can come and I can kick you out of your house because God told me this. Because I went through the Holocaust, which I didn't have anything to do with it. And here's the thing about people don't know about the partition, because in 1947 there was the UN partition. And when they claim, the Palestinian, they didn't accept peace because we offered them partition, and then they went into war with Israel. This is how they changed the history. Because 1947, overnight, the UN granted the Jews who were less than 20% or 30% of the population, who were living on less than 20% of the land, overnight they gave them 55% of Palestine. Right. And then they gave the Palestinians who were for that, like, in the 80% of the land, who had more people, they gave them 45% of the population. It's like, you see, they never accept peace. You came to my house and then you just like, you're angry at me because I didn't accept less than half of what's mine.
Yeah.
And then the other lie said, like, and then when that happened, the next day, the Arabs went to war. No, the Zionist gangs, 4 years, and even like after the partition, they were ethnically cleansed and killing people in Palestinian villages, Deir Yassin and Tantura, and all of these massacres and all of the stuff, the horrible stuff that they claimed the Palestinians did to them in October 7th. They did it to them like 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. And then overnight, when the state of Israel was declared, overnight, 750,000, 750,000 Palestinians overnight were pushed out of their homes.
The Nakba.
Yes.
Yeah.
750,000 of humans living in their homes moved overnight.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It's crazy.
So when you tell me if I go back, what would I do different? Everything. You guys had problems with Europeans. As a matter of fact, many of the Jews that wanted to seek asylum in the United States and in the UK after World War II, after the Holocaust, they were not granted asylum.
They weren't.
They were not.
The UK?
There's even a very famous story about like the father of Anne Frank having his asylum rejected by the U.S.
Ooh, I'm unfamiliar with this. Let's pull that up. That's crazy.
But you can talk about like how like America and UK rejected asylum of many of the Jewish survivors of the Holocaust, and they can't. And then it's like, all right, sorry, send them to Palestine. What
Yeah, were they told to? That's what I'm.
I know, no, because like you had like now all of these companies like this, like we have. It's like.
Yeah, Anne Frank's family was denied a chance at U.S. immigration. Waitlist bombings and restrictive U.S. immigration policies thwarted Anne Frank's family chances. Oh, so when he was trying to get there before it started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it continued after 45. Many of the people who could not come to the States and the UK, they just sent them to
found
Palestine.
their way to New York.
Yeah. So you see that. So when you tell me like again, what would I do differently? It's like everything. The whole thing was built on fake premise, fake claims, wrong premise, wrong claims, and it's unjust. Like I'm sorry for whatever happened to the Jews in Europe, but I'm sorry, man, that's not our fault.
Yeah. I think about this a lot with the context of like America too, and I think there's two things here. Number one, the fact that this was the first post-World War II modern world land grab, if you will, to where people around the world could see that this happened. Even if the story got changed, like it's there on record, there's video of things, all that. As opposed to like in America, we had a bunch of founders come here, and I'm happy they did, but like, let's call it what it is. There were other people living here, and they don't have that land anymore, but that happened 400 years ago.
But when you have these discussions, people say like, oh, if I was living at that time, I would never accept kicking out the indigenous people. I would never accept that. This is something that happened in the past. And now it's happening in front of us, in front of our phones, and nobody's doing anything about it.
Right.
Because it is never about what's right or what's wrong. It's about framing. It's about the framing. And the framing here is like, it's the good guys against the bad guys. And this is indoctrinated into us since we are kids watching Western movies. Because we know that what happened in the Red Indians or indigenous people, or whatever you want to call them,
they had it coming.
They're like, oh look, you know, they're running behind this woman and their cowboy, and they're like having like all going behind, like and they're doing like a circle and they're killing us. So now we have created these monsters that now maybe we took our land, but maybe they deserve it because they were savages and evil. So it is really about the framing. And can I tell you a little bit of since I'm a history nerd?
I love when you talk history. You can talk whatever history you want.
So you know, the Nakba happened in 1948. You know what happened in 1448?
1440, is that the Spanish?
The American-Mexican War. The American-Mexican War. You know when America...
In 1848.
1848, like 100 years before.
I thought you said 1448.
So sorry, I said 48.
Yeah.
I said
the Alamo, all that.
It's 1848, where manifesting destiny. It started by like also like claims by like those people taking our freedom and whatever, and then they went in unprovoked, and they basically took half of Mexico, and now that's half of the United States. It started in 1840, and if you actually, I went to ChatGPT and I asked to him to have a side-by-side comparison to the media sound bites in the American newspaper in 1448 and all of the excuses that they would go in and take the land, and between the Israeli propaganda in 1948 all along to October 7th, same thing. Oh, they are against our freedom. They're killing us. They're savages. Like, this is our land. They're like, we're going in to save people. We're going to take freedom. And then you basically, America, like, took half of the kingdom of Mexico. After 1848, they took all of California, all of the West Coast, Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas.
So let's play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Why don't you advocate for the U.S. to give that land back to Mexico?
Well, because like I came here when things are already there. But you see, this is the moral conundrum. It's terrible. Yes, I'm sorry, but like we were told that this happened in the past, that it will never happen again. And we're in this like very weird position where like everybody you speak about the injustice that's happening to Palestinians, like, oh, you shouldn't speak. You're the one who bombed Nagasaki and Hiroshima. You took the people out, the indigenous people. But it doesn't mean that because it happened before that we should accept it to continue to happen, because after the Second World War we were told that never again. Right. It will not happen again. Now we have international laws. All of the past
a bunch of times.
All of the past wars of like a stronger country coming in and taking a weaker country. That will never. Now we have international laws and International Court of Justice. We have human rights laws. All of that. We were told that after the Second War, it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
But then it's not.
Nobody follows it.
So my rebuttal to this is like, fine, okay, let's accept that like we accept it, but stop telling me that this is like a free world, and stop telling me that there are rules and regulations, and just like tell me that this is all performative so you can continue to do what you continue to did hundreds of years ago. Now you do it with better PR.
Yeah. Would you undo it if you
do
could
it
today? Like if you could be like, all right, Palestine is just all Palestine. There's no Israel there.
I mean, I think it's very difficult actually to do that. I mean, I think is they make it so complicated that there's no way out. And this is a type of manipulative way of discussion. They tell you, all right, so what's the solution? What could you do? That's like, dude, you're coming to me at the end of the line and asking me for a solution. Right. It's like you like making me wake up in the body of a serial killer, like after like 19th like victim that I killed, and then like the 20th is poking my eyes. Like, what would you do if she pokes my eyes? Like, dude, there is like, this is like you like making me land on the Titanic after we hit the iceberg. Right. It's like, or what did you do? It's like, well, you already got us into this course. You already did not put enough life jackets and lifeboats, and now you're asking me to clear your mess. So this is one of those dishonest questions. Well, like,
that's not what I was trying.
No. I'm not saying. No. You're wrong, because like I remember I was asked this question before, and I at the time I wasn't aware of the manipulation tactic. They told, if you're the prime minister of Israel, what would you do after October 7th? And I would say like, not this. It's like, oh, that's not a good answer. It's like, and the answer is, bitch, don't put me in the shoes of someone who did all of that and then ask me to clear their mess. Right. This thing did not happen in vacuum. We have that mess. You already created the mess. You already killed the people. You already ethnically cleansed them. And then you brought millions of people from other countries, put them there, set in their land. And then whatever solution I'll come up with, what? Should I like make those like Jews go back? Oh, you're anti-Semitic. Or should I like make it Palestine? Oh, you want to like kill all Jews? It's just, it puts you in an impossible situation where we can't do anything. It just becomes now like a matter of fact, and you have to deal with it.
Okay, well, how do you, without having to go then to the root and like suddenly solving all the world's problems?
I really don't have any. Really, it's so messed up and so fucked up that's like, there is no solution other than the only way is to end the occupation. And even when you say end the occupation, then it's okay. What kind of land should you give back to the Palestinians? Is it the 1967 land? Is it that partition land? Is it the whole land? You have already created a clusterfuck. You destroyed the land. You destroyed the people. There is like 7 million Palestinians outside of Palestine. What are we going to do with these people? Should they all go back? Yeah. And when they go back, what will happen to the Jews there? You see, you have created an impossible situation where, dude. You just fucked up, and all we hope now. All right, you know what? Okay, at least stop the killing, at least stop taking new land. But because you see what's happening now in Lebanon, they're doing in Lebanon the same day thing in Gaza. They've already ethnically cleansed like tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. They have destroyed the villages the way that they do it, and they make it impossible to go to ground zero. They go and they inflict so much damage. They kill so many people. They push so many people out. And it's like, all right, what are you going to do?
Well, I hate how you talked earlier about in our government, how brazen people are. Like, what are you going to do about it? It's even worse when you listen to like Smotrich or Katz talk over there. Like they telegram what they were going to do up to the Litani River. Yes. Then they did it. And then there was even... They were telling the Druze and the Christians in the area, "Hey, you guys
if you have any Muslims, just like report them."
Right, and I'm like, okay, just replace replace the Muslims with Jews. How's this different from
It's
World
not.
War II?
It's not. And the only difference is that the media is not having a fit about it. Because because the media is really, I said it before, the American media is the real Iron Dome of Israel.
The real Iron Dome of Israel.
Yeah, they distract. They bury the truth. They don't really address it. If they would address the atrocities that Israel does on a daily basis, like whatever terrorist attack that Hezbollah did or Hamas, people would be like out in flames. But they don't. Most of my information about what the Israel does is from the Israeli media.
From the Israeli media.
Yeah, you know the whole thing about the Hannibal Directive and how they do the Hannibal Directive and the fact that there
Can
was
you
like
explain that to people?
Yeah, okay. So in October 7th, a lot of people don't know or maybe forgot that the attack of October 7th happened in 6 a.m. The first responders, which is like the Israeli helicopters, arrived 6 to 8 hours after the attack.
Right.
Now, just to give you a reference, Israel is the size of New Jersey. You can get in a helicopter, getting from the north of Israel to the south of Israel in 15 minutes. 6 hours to 8 hours. And then they had televised testimonies by Israeli soldiers said, like, we were given orders to stand down. That's great. And all of that is discussed freely in the Israeli media. I have not seen a single coverage of that in American media. They're covering for them. This is the ultimate bro code. They are covering from the Israelis more than they're covering from themselves. And then there is like multiple reports, again, from the Israeli media about the Hannibal Directive, which is basically the Israeli troops that came 6 to 8 hours late, started to shoot indiscriminately, killing the hostages and the kidnappers in the same time, basically making the number of the casualties in the Israeli side even more, because they were just like killing them all, because the Hannibal Directive is basically a directive by which if you have a hostage situation, you will kill both the hostage and the terrorist, so you don't go into negotiation. Basically, less paperwork. And and the crazy thing is, everything that I told you now, I got it from reading the Israeli media. Can you imagine? The Israeli media is more honest about their brutality more than the American media, who's covering up for their bros in Israel. It's just like, it's crazy, man.
It's pretty crazy.
Yes.
Do you think they wanted that to happen?
Who? Yeah, I mean, I definitely want. Because listen, I've said it before. Israel doesn't care about its own people. All right, they use Jewish people as fodder for them for whatever deed they want. And I said it before, and again I quote the author Avi Shlaim, who's a Jewish Iraqi author, who wrote 3 books about his experience being an Iraqi Jew who left to Israel. And he said in his book, and it's documented, that between 1950 and 1951, the Mossad sent operatives in order to blow up synagogues in Iraq to scare the Jewish people in Iraq so they would leave and go to Israel. So whenever
he said that,
oh yeah, it's written that. Can you just say Israeli Mossad or like Israeli operative involved in bombing Iraq synagogues 1950, 1951.
To scare the Iraqi Jews there.
So when they tell you, oh, you know what, 1948, there was also an ethnic killing of Jews from the Arab country. Bitch, you are the ones who were pushing them. You know? And then the same operative who they sent to, here it is, baby.
Whether Israeli operatives were involved in the 1950 to 1951 Baghdad.
It's a deeply debated. Fuck you, AI. Fuck you, AI. Fuck you, AI.
Remains deeply debated and historically unresolved controversy.
No, it is resolved and debated, bitch. Fuck you.
The attacks, which targeted Jewish properties in Mossad Hashem Tov synagogue, catalyzed the mass exodus of Iraqi Jews to Israel. Here we go. So many Iraqi Jews and some historians like Avi Shlaim argue that Zionist operatives orchestrated the bombings or planted false flag bombs to terrorize the Jewish community and expedite their immigration to Israel. The Iraqi government executed 2 Zionist underground operatives, Youssef Basri and Shalom Salih, and arrested others in connection with the attacks.
Now here's the fun part. The same guy that the Mossad sent to do these synagogues, then they sent him to Egypt. Oh. And he led something called the Lavon affair. You can the Lavon affair or Operation Susanna. And here's the fun
Tell
part.
Tell people about the Lavon affair.
So basically, when Nasser took power, here's the point. When Nasser took power, when he became the president of Egypt, and Israel wanted to kind of cause a rift between him and the British and the Americans, so they started to bomb American and British places. And one of them was found out. Now, here's the fun part. Israel aggressively rejected the claim that they did it, right? They rejected it from 1954 to 2005. And in 2005, they finally acknowledged the Lavon affair, and they gave the people who were participants in this, they gave them what they call participation certificates. It's kind of like an Amazon card or something. Oh, and nice. So basically it's like, oh, thank you so much for trying to kill people. Now we can acknowledge that you did it. Like right. Here's your Apple card. And seriously, it's 2005. So and this is another tactic of Zionists, like using the victimization. Look at the Arab Jews. Well, let's see what they did to the Arab Jews, because there is, and you'll need to pull that up too. A lot of the Yemeni Jews who made it to Israel, their kids were taken away from them, and they were
taken away from
and they were told they were dead. And
when was this?
1951. You can search the lost Yemeni kids or the Yemeni Jews, or it was a New York Times article. Yemenite Children Affair, yes.
The Yemenite Children Affair refers to the disappearance of many Yemenite Jewish babies and toddlers of immigrants in the newly founded state of Israel from 48 to 54. The number of children affected ranges from 1,000 to 5,000. The majority of immigrants arriving in Israel during this period were from Yemen, with considerable numbers coming from Iraq, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Libya, and the Balkans. According to low estimates, 1 in 8 children of Yemenite families disappeared. Hundreds of documented statements made over the years by the parents of these infants allege that their children were removed from them.
So I'll tell you what happened. So they would go in, and then they would go into the hospital, like a kid will have a cold or something, and then they will tell them your kid died. And then they will take that kid and give it to a white Ashkenazi Jews from Europe.
Is that in here too? There have been allegations that no death certificates were issued and that parents did not receive any information from Israeli and Jewish organizations as to what had happened to their infants. However, Yaakov Lazowich, chief archivist at the Israel State Archives, has documented records showing that while the fate of a small fraction of the missing children cannot be traced, in the overwhelming majority of cases, the children died in hospital, were buried, and the families notified, although these illnesses, deaths, and family notifications were handled with enormous insensitivity. In Lazowich's opinion, there was no crime, but there was a sin. Widespread speculation persists that the infants were given or sold to childless Holocaust survivors in a covert systematic operation. Conclusions reached by 3 separate official commissions set up to investigate the issue unanimously found that the majority of the children were buried, having died from diseases.
Yeah. So and in the New York,
who's investigating?
No, but in the New York Times, there's actually like a more in depth telling them that these were actually given to many of the.
Have they ever found one though?
I have no idea.
Have they ever found a kid that they can run like a DNA test on? Because that's a big claim.
Yeah, I have never I've never went into this, but there's also like a great. I think it's called the Lost Jewish babies of Yemen, or there was like a New York Times. Yeah, it was like it was a good article about.
One.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Let's find that. All right. So this is
the disappeared children of Israel. Yes,
the disappeared children of Israel. In the state of Israel's early years, a number of parents in immigrant transit camps were told that their babies had died. Their families believed the babies were abducted by the Israeli authorities in the 1950s and were illegally put up for adoption to childless Ashkenazi families, Jews of European descent. A younger generation is demanding answers. So this is from 2019.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a long article. People can check this out though. I just read it.
And let me tell you about like another thing that they did to their own fellow Jews, Ethiopian women. Ethiopian Jewish
What they
women.
do the Ethiopian women?
So in
because they rescued a bunch from
right? Exactly. So from 1998 to 2012, something like that, the the Jewish Ethiopian women who were transferred from Ethiopia to Israel, they were giving, without their knowledge, contraceptive shots to prevent them from reproducing.
Why?
Because they did. I don't know. I mean, my racist mind will say because they didn't want any more black Jews. But for 12 years, they were given shots by the Ministry of Health in Israel, which, by the way, was under the supervision of Benjamin Netanyahu. And after 12 years, Benjamin Netanyahu apologized. So they actually...
let's find that. Netanyahu apologizes for Ethiopian contraceptive shots?
Yes.
Holy shit. If that's even far for him. Because he actually apologized, too.
Yeah.
I heard of that.
You can just say Israeli government contraceptive pills, Ethiopian women.
I don't know why you would...
It says there's no, like, official...
Oh, come on. Yeah, of course. But there's like a lot of articles was written about like the Times, yeah.
In the New York Times, they wrote about it.
There's one in Times of Israel too.
The one in Times of Israel.
Let's pull that one up. See what they say. Ethiopian women claim Israel forced them to use birth control before letting them immigrate. They reject allegations as false from the immigration ministry, obviously.
When was that article? I'm sorry.
This is 2012. Okay.
2012. No, there was
Netanyahu
more.
apologized.
I don't know if it's Netanyahu apologized or whoever was like taking like the control of the health ministry, but there was like an apology from the Israeli government
for the misunderstanding.
For the misunderstanding of giving them. We were just giving them vitamin B shots. They were giving them peptides.
They were the original GLP ones.
Yeah, we're giving them peptides. And,
oh, wow. Yeah, here you go.
Oh, yes.
In 2013, the Israeli Health Ministry implicitly acknowledged and apologized for the coercive administration of long-acting contraceptive injections, Depo-Provera, to Ethiopian Jewish women. The ministry directed all gynecologists to stop her. Wow, that's actually... All right. You got that one.
I'm a walking encyclopedia, bitches.
I was slightly skeptical on that one.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's wild.
Yeah, you see all of that Ethiopian immigration Israel received contraceptive shots. There are many articles.
A lot, yeah. People, this is right on Google AI, people.
Yes.
You can even find it there. So that's nuts.
Yeah. It wasn't Benjamin Netanyahu, but it was like the government under Benjamin Netanyahu. Yeah.
All right, real quick. I want to continue on this. I just got to run to the bathroom. So we'll be right back.
Yes.
All right, we're back. You don't miss medicine at all?
Never.
Not at all.
No, I was miserable being a doctor.
Did you want to do it when you were a kid?
No,
how'd you even get into it?
Well, that's why these are the choices that's available in the Middle East. You're allowed one of three choices: being a doctor or an engineer or a disappointment. This is what you have. This is what you're allowed to do. So I did it because like what should I tell? Oh, I want to be a creative writer. You just
They wouldn't have accepted that.
I mean, it's not like we have the culture where I can go to my desk like, hey, I want to go and find myself.
Right.
And he was just like, dude, you're right here. I can see you. I found you, and I didn't. So I did it because of what else can I do? And I'm the kind of a person where I'm put in a situation. This is how we were brought up. Like you power through.
Yeah.
You don't have to be happy.
What'd your dad do?
Happiness is overrated. My dad was a judge, and my mom was a business professor.
No kidding.
Yeah, she was a college professor. She was teaching business.
So they slid.
So it was like a typical middle class Egyptian family, government employee, middle class, and they are the type of people that would put all of their saving and put you on better education, give you better chances. So after they put you in an expensive school, you can like, oh, you know what? I want to try like some. I want to do like some liberal arts. It's like, no, you're gonna be a fucking doctor.
Bitch, you're gonna be a doctor. What made you land on being a heart surgeon?
It's hard. I always liked surgery. I like to do things with my hands. And I found it interesting. And then by the time I went into the specialty, which around 2001, catheters, like, the interventional meds were killing us. So they took like 90% of our work because, like, the stents,
Oh,
so there was a time, like, in the 80s and 90s, if you had anything, you open heart surgery, and then so, like, heart surgeons were doing a killing, and then the intervention, the cardiologists, those fuckers,
and you're like,
they started to do something which is, of course, better for the patient. Instead of like splitting up your chest, you're going in a little catheter, like clear the thing.
Bassem's like, no, it's poison.
And we're like, yeah, it's better for the patient, but it's worse for us. And this is, and kind of like there was a huge decline of like, they basically took away 90% of our jobs, fuckers.
Jesus. So the Arab Spring was well timed for you.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's good to just like leave this competition older and just like go into comedy and then not care about the next, heart attack by someone else.
Was that just like an overnight thing where literally you were still a doctor one day and the next day you had the show and you're like, I guess I'm done with that?
No, I'm not that brave.
Okay.
It
still was going on shift.
It came in increments. So when I got the offer, at the time I was actually applying for a fellowship in Cleveland.
In Cleveland?
When I was in Egypt, like 2010, 2011.
Why Cleveland?
There was something called the Rainbow Hospital for children. So I wanted to subspecialize in pediatric heart surgery. And I got approved, so I was waiting, for the H-1B visa, which, this is how all the Indians came here.
I was going to say, you're not Indian.
There's no more. They took it all. But at the time, in 2011, there was still a few H-1Bs for the rest of us. And and so I was waiting for the visa. And while I was waiting, the Egyptian revolution broke out. And then I started, on all of that, like, the visa is taking too long, so I started doing the videos, and the videos started to blow up. And then I receive like this, the offer to have my TV show. And on the same day that I received the offer, the papers from Cleveland arrived. And now I have to make a choice.
Ooh, save the kids. So
the choice were like, so should I choose this honorable, respectful profession that alleviates people's pains and make them happy, or should I continue being a doctor? So, I said, I called, I emailed the guy from Cleveland. And basically, I had like a TV show, like, waiting. So I couldn't tell them, like, I'm not gonna take your. It's like, this is the time of the revolution, and I need to be here in my country. I was like, my country needs me to be here right now.
He hangs up. He's like, did I see this motherfucker on Jon Stewart?
Yeah. And I need to just like, there's an obligation towards the people of my own country. But so
he was the original "fuck them kids" meme.
Yeah. So my mom was upset. So she accepted the fact that I wouldn't go on the Cleveland thing because I'm not gonna travel. So for Arab moms, it's good. At least you're next to me,
but
Habibi.
TV.
But TV, and she's like, no, you are going to continue being a doctor while doing the TV because you don't know if the TV thing will work or not. And she has a point. Yeah. So for a year and a half, I continued as a doctor while having my TV show on air.
You working on bits while you're opening up parts?
So I kind of like, I kind of reduced my hours as much as possible, but I would still go there and teach, still go there to operate. Occasionally I still, attend the rounds. And and then as I was getting more famous, people in the hospital started to recognize me.
Oh no.
Like the patients. And I remember we were having like a morning round, like a weekly round. It was a grand round. So we have like the head of the department and all of the professors and the associate professors. And at the time I was an attending doctor. So like, we're going to have 20 people like next to the doctor and going around the patients. And then as we were there and one of the residents, presenting the case, like, it was getting ready for an aortic valve replacement. And then the patient is sitting there and he's looking at the faces of the doctors sitting there and he sees me. He's like, I see you on television, and that's in front of the whole round. Oh, you are so funny. Yes, I know this guy. Is he going to operate on me? So now I'm now in a position where patients are not taking me seriously because because now, like, as a doctor, you're gonna go in and then explain the operation for the patient. It's like, well,
I swear to God,
we
I'm serious.
we are going, we're gonna have an incision midway through, do this, and then we're gonna have an electrical saw, and we're gonna split your chest into. It's like, you're so funny, a doctor, exactly like TV. Wallah. No, let me tell you, tell me, really, what's gonna happen? No, yeah, we're gonna really split you open, and we're gonna stop your heart, put you in a heart, and there's like, okay, I need another doctor. So it was. So when I renewed my show for the second season, I was making actually like good money. I went to my mom's like, Mom, you know the purpose of being a doctor or an engineer is to make money.
Yeah,
I'm making money now. Can I please leave medicine?
I just can't do this no more.
And my mom said, okay. It's as long as there's money.
So then you hit her in 2014, like, well, went dry.
Yeah. No, but it's so that was the shift.
Are your parents still around, or?
No, they died in 2013 and 2014.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got to do this Odyssey without having your mom
at least they didn't see the ups and downs after, which Middle Eastern parents, any parents would feel even more, and that would be even extra pressure on you because now you worry about them, worrying about you. So as if God was had his way of like, you just need to worry about yourself. They are in a better place now. They died in their prime. They didn't have any problems. Any sickness, and they really, like, all the memories I have for them, like, they're in the prime, they're strong, they're independent, and it's a blessing in disguise. Yeah,
I agree. I've seen some older family members live into very old age and really like fall off a cliff, and it's like,
oh yeah,
then they linger there for a while, and it's at some point it's like, I'm cruel for still wanting them to be here.
Yeah. This is actually the trauma that shaped my childhood, because as growing up, I saw my grandmother from my mom's side and grandmother from my dad's side, the three of them dying a very long, humiliating death. Like dementia, they Alzheimer, they don't remember, they don't know who you are. Yeah. They're like, their bodily functions start to fail one by one, and that went on for years, like years. And your dad and your mom is the most important thing to your life. So I would go there, and then it would affect me as like, oh God, please don't let that happen to my parents.
Right.
Please don't let that happen to my parents. And as devastating as it was, my mom went to sleep, she didn't wake up. My dad was crossed the street, car accident. Devastating. They are taken away from you in a split of a second. It's hard, it's heartbreaking. But as much, it's just like, it's as horrible as the pain is, all my memories about them being independent, being strong, they didn't suffer, they went in their prime, they didn't have to see what their son had to go through. So in a way, they were spared. And I always say this and everywhere I go, like, our parents spend all their lives carrying our burden, and when my parents died, they didn't even let us carry theirs.
So true, man.
So this is they are like, parents of the year, parents of the century, basically. They did all of us, everything to us, and they didn't even give us a chance to do anything for them, just like not putting more burden on us, which is,
Yeah.
So they're, in my world, they are saints.
That's really cool. That's got to be hard, though, that it happened so quickly.
Yes, it's happened. It happened like maybe 9 months apart. And
how'd you adjust to that?
Oh, it was devastating. Like, my mom died like right before she saw the flip against me in Egypt, and my dad died right before he saw me go to America and struggle. And it was like right in my older brother, like it hit him harder. Because he was closer to them, he was like older. I was like more like entrenched into this like new media life. It hit him harder. For me, it hit me hard. But in the way that I adjust is that I told myself, this is a message for me. It's as if like God cut the umbilical cord. It's like, you don't have to worry about this part of the world anymore. Go try to figure yourself out, which you try to tell yourself all kinds of things to adjust.
Sure. Are you still close with your brother?
Oh, yeah, all the time, yeah.
And he lives in Egypt?
He lives in Egypt. Sometimes he visits.
Oh, so he can come here.
Yeah, he come here and he visits, yeah.
Because you can't go there, right?
Can't is now a big word. I would say can't maybe a few years ago, but I have to say, especially after October 7th, kind of like, there is a lot of
animosity. Like he's cooking now.
No, but there's a lot of animosities. Yeah. It's kind of like being, okay, to put aside, because honestly, we're having a common enemy right now. I mean, I have many things to say about the Egyptian government, and I have many things to say about the Egyptian politics. But honestly, compared to what Israel is doing in the region, if anybody tried to drag me, it's like, what do you think about Egypt? What do you think about Saudi? It's like, no, this is a distraction. You're trying to distract the conversation to just like to cover up for like the really genocidal state that is really fucking up the politics in the Middle East and fucking up the politics in America. So every time they try to drag me to talk about, well, Egypt is not the most democratic, it's like, yeah, but at least they're not genocidal. They don't have a lobby that is buying our congressmen, and they're using our money to commit a genocide. Yeah, you can say anything you say about all of the Arab countries. None of them is perfect, but like, yeah, I'm not gonna play your game by you trying to drag me into side discussions while like a horrible genocide is happening every day.
Yeah. Now, what is that's actually a really important context that I think doesn't really get talked about here in America when we're looking at this issue more singularly as far as what's going on. But like the current Egyptian government, obviously there were the peace accords years ago with Egypt when, what was it?
1978,
Anwar,
1978, 79, yeah.
Right. And Jimmy Carter and all that. But like, what is the attitude? It seems like you're kind of answering the question, but like, how would you describe the current attitude of Egypt's administration right now towards Israel and what that has diplomatically looked like?
Well, I think, we do have officially have a peace treaty with Israel, and this treaty is overlooked and sponsored by the United States, and we are allies with the United States. So, but the same you can say about Turkey. Turkey is a NATO member, and they're allies of the United States. And then I mean, I haven't seen Turkey or Egypt attacking Israel or trying to, threaten its existence. And yet, you listen to the Israelis, they're talking blatantly about Turkey is the new Iran, and after that there will be Egypt.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And to answer your question, what do you think about the attitude? Not just the Egyptian government, but all of the Arab government. A lot of people say, well, why don't the Arab countries stand up for Israel? It's like, well, you know what will happen next? America will fuck them up. Because when you go against Israel, you're going against the nuclear power of the United States. You're going against all of the USS Lincoln and USS whatever, Gerald Ford. You're going against the American military, because basically Israel is an outpost for American imperialism. This is it. So I think that every single Arab government is walking on thin ice, because they don't agree with what happens. But basically, you're dealing with a madman.
Yeah.
Who's just like shooting his way out and wanting to drag everybody else to war. So yeah, we can sit here and talk about like how the Egyptian government is not doing enough and they can do more, and what they can do diplomatically and what they go as a pressure. But really, and it will be fair to criticize. And say like they're not doing enough, they should be doing more. But the core of the problem is a madman dragging a big bully into war, scaring everybody else. And if you go out of line, you will be the next Iran. They're saying this about Turkey, a NATO member.
When I saw that,
they don't care. And here's the thing. What I find it very interesting.
What they say, Turkey's the next Iran.
Yeah. And Turkey is the new Iran. And then just the spy. What's his name?
Jonathan Pollard.
Just like it was an interview yesterday. Well, we know we should not be shy by using nuclear weapons. It doesn't have to be nuclear weapons, because just like electromagnetic pulses, and then we will have to go against Iran, against Turkey, and against Egypt. Like, what the hell, man? We can hear you. We're sitting right there. We're sitting right there. What the? Because this is what really drives me mad. When we talk about Israel, we have to be very careful. It's like, no, this is genocide. no. This is anti-Semitic.
I was told you're a huge anti-Semite.
No, yeah, of course. Like officially chosen by the Israeli government. So suck it. So. So the thing is, every time it's like, oh, you want to kill the Jews. Dude, they are talking about eliminating countries around. There's nothing more hypocritical when people tell you from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free is genocidal because that means that you want to wipe out Israel. But in the same time, you have the Israeli government, the Israeli official standing there with the map of Greater Israel right next to them, and even on the soldiers, like they have the badges of the Greater Israel right there, telling you, which means wiping out 7 Arab countries.
Yes,
half of Egypt, half of Iraq, Syria, parts of Turkey, parts of Jordan. All of Jordan,
Saudi Arabia,
Lebanon, Syria, and parts of Saudi Arabia.
That's insane.
So basically telling me, you cannot talk about Israel and its right to exist, but we would freely display a map showing that our intended borders will not stop until we wipe up the people in these 7 countries. What kind of hypocrisy is that?
Oh, it's insane. It's insane hypocrisy.
But again, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Nothing.
You can't talk about that.
Yes.
And that's the issue. This is what I was going to bring up before the break. I really think, just because I take people at their word. When you see leaders saying things like this and openly supporting it, we already mentioned what they said about Lebanon and stuff, whether it be Smotrich or Katz or Ben Gvir is fucking nuts. But when they keep telling you they're trying to take this land that God promised them, and then you see all these actions that happen on the outside. Let me paint the picture this way. I started to notice that after October 7th in particularly, all these people, whether it's Benjamin Netanyahu or the guy who runs the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, or you name it, some type of organization that's tied to the Zionist government in particularly that wants to kind of spread that word. Every time they would go to do something, whether it be send a tweet, appear on Piers Morgan, give an interview to some random person on TV, come out and make a statement on camera through the government, whatever it might be. Anytime that they would be doing something that people were going to hear, if you could imagine they had 2 choices every time, and choice A was not even good. It's just like, this won't make things worse. Saying this will not make things worse. And then choice B is, this will make things much worse and have the opposite effect of what we're claiming to want to get through. Every single time, these motherfuckers chose choice B.
All the time.
And so I asked myself, as someone who had studied Benjamin Netanyahu's life in particularly, I was like, don't like the guy, but did he suddenly become really stupid? I don't think so.
No, they do that they're spitting in your face.
Yeah.
They are spitting in your face. They're telling you exactly what I'm telling you. It's like, hey, we're going to do all of this. We're going to fuck you over. What are you going to do about it?
What are you gonna do?
And if you speak about it, you're anti-Semitic. Like I would say that Israel is the only trans country in the world.
Trans.
They can play the victim and the oppressor in the same time. They shift all the time. They oppress you, and then, oh my God, we're victimized with the Holocaust, what the October 7th. Oh my God. It's just like I'm just like sick and tired of this. And then, it's stupid, man.
But you think there's something to that? You think that's what they're
no?
Trying to do?
There's records of Benjamin Netanyahu speaking in Hebrew and speaking even in English, telling us like, we control the American Congress. We control. We don't care. Like we can do whatever they want. Like and the thing is, they have the money, because a lot of people, when they say like Israel control America, it's like, oh, this is very conspiracy theories. Like, well, if you have enough money, you can buy enough people in the government, and once you buy enough people in the government, you control the government, you control the country. You don't really. They're not controlling 300 million Americans. They control the 200 people up there who are writing the laws.
It's really hard to not see that there's something to that, especially like when you watch what just happened to Thomas Massey.
Yeah.
And
32 or 35 million dollars. And that was until like 2 years ago. The record was $16 million for a Congress seat by Jamal Bowman,
which also was same thing.
So imagine in 2 years they doubled the spending for one seat. And the thing is, here's the thing: they didn't really need the seats because they have the numbers. You understand? They already have 98% of the seats, but it's a message. Even if you are even like a minority will not be allowed to exist, and objecting a more even if it was one seat, you're gone. So it's not really about them ousting Messi, because even if Messi made it, him alone will not make any difference. But it is a message like anybody who even think about going out of line, we will spend all of the money out there to get you out of the seat.
I think it's going to have the opposite effect, though, again, because this was ideal.
What would happen?
This was ideal. This is why I say this. This was ideal for them. It was a closed primary, right? So it's already it's not a general election year. It's already a primary. It's not even like a regular election, Democrat versus Republican.
Yeah.
It's just Republican on Republican. You had to be a registered Republican to vote. So you already have the lowest type of turnout election, and then you have to be actually registered under that party to vote. And Thomas Massie was very popular with the people below age 55. But the people who vote in that kind of election are the people who watch fucking TV where ads of AI shit and slop are fed to them, and they just believe it's true, and they're all over age 55. So they could win this one. But in doing so, I actually think it jolted a lot of people, because many people around the country who are just even passively watching this have looked at Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna from the Republican and Democrat sides, respectively, and said, wow, two politicians that actually tried to do the right thing, and now one of them's gone and the other one's on the chopping block in January, and they can see the money that was spent on it, and they can see who spent it.
So it's a scare tactic. It's a message. It's a message. Thomas Massie's seat is not that important. It is the message behind it that is important. That is worth the $35 million. We spent $35 million just to show you what we can do. If you're not compromised by some child, we're gonna spend money against you. And it's funny, like speaking about Republican primaries, there's a very interesting Republican primary happening in Florida. Dan Bilzerian and Randy Fine.
Yeah,
I actually interviewed the Dan Bilzerian. I went to his home in Las Vegas. Okay, can I say my experience with Dan Bilzerian? Because
sure.
Because me, like many other males out there, follow Dan Bilzerian for all of the different kind of reasons that we follow him now. Because we were like, he was like living this hedonistic like lifestyle. It was crazy. And then after October 7th, the guy just changed his mind. And then he started to DM me. It's like he said, he texted me like, great work. I said, oh my God. Dan Bilzerian, the guy that I wanted to attend the party. So I said, so it's like, hey man, how you doing? And I was like, hey, how you doing? Big fan. And then it's
Don't tell your wife that.
And then she knows. And then
she knows.
And then
pull an Elon Musk and bring her with you.
No, Elon Musk is not even allowed into the cool parties. We know that.
Okay.
Like imagine like Elon Musk. He was so dull. He wasn't even invited to Pedo Island. So anyways, so like that, and then like I started talking to him, and then I said, we got personal, we got like close, like texting, and then I was asking him, what about like the stuff, the lifestyle? Like, no, this part is behind me anymore. And he's actually have in the interview he talked very profoundly about how he had everything. I mean, that life, all of the gambling, all of the money, all of the drugs, everything. And he went to. I said, like, I reached the end of the line and I came back empty. And that life is behind me, and I'm not there. I'm more into monogamy now. I'm not in this crazy, like he spends his weekend playing paintball, or hiking, or and so
lifestyle change.
So yeah, so I said, so it's like in like part of me is like I'm happy for him, and part of me is like, shit, couldn't you just like known me before you just made the shift, so I would just enjoy, that part of life that you don't have enough. I mean, I can. So yeah, but I'm happy for him. So, but actually, I went to his house in Vegas.
In Vegas.
Yes,
he hasn't moved locations, I guess.
No. He has a house in Vegas and a house because he grew up in Florida, but he stays in Vegas. So I live in Los Angeles. I said, like, I'm coming to you. We're gonna do the interview. It was very nice. We spent like the interview, maybe like we took 2 hours like doing the interview, but we spent like 6 hours talking and eating in his kitchen. Just talking about like
Ain't that the best?
Talking about it would have been much better with their women there, but there were and No. But we and the interview is quite explosive because Dan Bilzerian he goes a little bit to the extreme, and I think a lot of people will not like that interview. I mean, I'm editing it now. A lot of people will not like what Dan Bilzerian had to say. They will call him extreme. That you call him too much. But in my mind, it's like, this is what you get when you start to police and control people's speeches. Some people will just go off the rails and like, you know what? Enough of this. This is I'm gonna say, and I don't care if you don't like it, because this is what you get when you start to police people's and guilt trip them and put them into all of these spirals of like accusations and guilt tripping. This is what you get. You're gonna get like an unfiltered, very uncomfortable speech, and this is what you have to deal with. So I say, you know what? I know that a lot of people will have problems with some of the stuff that Dan Bilzerian said, but it's free speech, and
free speech has to win for sure. Yeah. I agree with
even
that.
if you don't like the speech, and the thing is, the same people who tell me, the cure for free speech is more speech. Now they're telling you, no, we need to stop the speech.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You see how they change? Yeah. No. But this is hate speech. It's like, you
that's
have
the same thing
you have pushed people to that by not allowing them to speak.
You have to let ideas go out into the public forum and be fleshed out. And the best part about free speech is the fact that it is so painful sometimes, but that's what the essence of it.
Yeah, and which brings back to like Dan Bilzerian. A lot of people say, "Look, Dan Bilzerian, how could you support?" First of all, I'm not supporting him. I'm interviewing him, giving him the space. I don't have to agree with everything that he says. There's some stuff that he will say that I might have a disagreement with, but for me, it would be a poetic justice for him to unseat someone like Randy Fine, because for me, if someone with like Dan Bilzerian, with everything that you need to talk about him, about all of his past life, and about the drugs of the women, or the guy on the stairs, and all of the jokes that you make about him, if people would actually give him a fighting chance against Randy Fine, now that's the message. That's a message even stronger than the $35 million that was poured against Messi. Yeah. That's the people telling me, you know what? We will take anyone except that guy, except Randy Fine, who's a piece of shit, genocidal Zionist piece of shit, And I would say like a guy who's on steroids and who like had like history with me. For me, it's much better than a guy who's telling me like, well, let's kill all Muslims, kill all Palestinians, red the blood for let's nuke Gaza. Seriously, like you have a problem with a guy who have like a certain lifestyle who's even now behind him, but you're gonna go with that guy. So for me, that is the message.
Yeah, and God, I have so many thoughts on this. So, first of all,
right.
let's
explore your thoughts. Tell me about your childhood.
This guy, while you were in the bathroom, Deef, he was asking me about my shoulder. Suddenly went into doctor mode and was checking out my shoulder. That's why I asked him. Out of the break, I'm like, "You sure you don't love this?" he was coming around the table like, "Yeah, all right."
I was just like,
like I'll be all right. But what I'm saying,
I was just like feeling his very muscular.
Pause. So you sure you want a Diddy party or a Dan Bilzerian party?
I mean, I don't know. I'm running to Congress, so I don't know. Maybe it's time to be compromised and switch into political careers.
Okay, we can talk about that. But I agree with you. Randy Fine is an awful human being. Really makes me sick, the things he says. And, someone that is like, if you just create the worst stereotype, like that's it right there. My whole thing is, and it's nothing personal against Dan Bilzerian, like I try to look at it based on what your enemies would want. Okay, and if your enemies were, fucking Netanyahu or the government in Tel Aviv that wants greater Israel or something like that, and you just are like, I don't want that. If I were them, what would I want you to do? I would want you to respond with the worst kind of stereotype from the other side so that they could sit there and actually claim injury, even with a guy like Randy Fine.
But I'm sorry, but they're doing this anyway.
They do this anyway.
They're doing anyway, even if, they're doing it like...
But don't you think moderation should win out?
No.
Why not?
I think in a perfect world, like yes, but we're not in a perfect world.
I agree.
And as you have said, every action has a reaction with equal magnitude.
But what else did I say?
What?
I said I really wish those actions were more.
Yeah, you wish, but that's not the world we're living in.
That's true.
And I wish that too. I wish that all of us would be moderate, and I wish all of that would like go kumbaya and like live together. But like as a matter of fact, if you're gonna push hard, if you're gonna slam me to the wall and have like my make me trapped, I'm gonna act in a very, very much more violent. And I don't condone this. I don't approve of this. But it is just what happens. I mean, I'm sure that, there's a lot of people who wish that there was not like uprising and revolutions and there are people dying. But this is a result of what's happening. October 7th did not happen in vacuum. I wish October 7th didn't happen. I wish it never happened. But there was reasons that pushed people to the brink. Whether they want to do it by design because we want to do it so we can use that. I mean, yeah. But you can't control the world, and you cannot control people's reaction. You cannot control people's emotions. And at a certain point, like how many times today did we said this? Like, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Well, someone like Dan Bilzerian is doing something about it. You might not agree with him, but he's pushing. And maybe he is moving the, what you call the overtone window. So people would actually have more freedom to move into different spaces of speech.
But don't you think that the government over there, the hardline advocates, they want to victimize fellow Jews around the world who have no say in the matter to make people hate all them?
But they will do that anyways, whether they have Dan Bilzerian or not. I mean, one of the things that they use.
But doesn't he expedite that? The way he talks about it.
Okay, what is something that he would say that you say like
he's been taken out of context, to be clear on certain
he's
things,
been taken out of context. And when he talks about Jewish supremacy and what I'm saying, Jewish supremacy, like, well, guys,
when I'm referring to when he talks about like all Jews do this or all Jews do that, we shouldn't say that about anyone.
I think, I mean, in my interview at least, it's like I'm not saying that every Jewish person is doing that. I think he was very specific, and I think many of the stuff.
I want to see that.
So he said at least in my interview, he was very clear that he didn't say every single Jewish person.
Okay,
so
I'm open to that.
But he would say that the people who are very vocal, who are in power, who are actually like have the power to change things with the money and the power, mostly are Jewish Zionists. The people who are like, for example, Jewish Voices for Peace or people who talk against Israel, they are sidelined by Israel themselves, calling them, self-hating Jews. They're not real Jews.
Crazy.
So when so here's another. That's actually like an important part. Now, you said something very important that no, we should not generalize.
I said something important.
You said a lot of stuff.
Thank you.
But one of the things that you said, like, we should not generalize. We should, which I totally agree.
Yeah.
But now you have a situation where many of the Jewish activists, Jewish artists, Jewish comedians, Jewish politicians, authors who are against Israel, against Zionism, who speak up, and every time they do that, the tsunami of attack on them, the character assassination, calling them capos, calling them self-hating Jews, calling them not real Jews. So you have the people with the authority, with the money, telling you that anytime you hear a Jewish saying something outside of what we say about our genocidal speech, this is not a Jew. So now Judaism is us, and us is Judaism. We are Judaism. We are one. And so at a certain point, when you shut down all of these people, you are the one who radicalized the conversation from the get-go.
Oh, I agree with that.
You radicalize.
I do agree with that.
And then at a certain point, you will not ask people, okay, let's be civil, let's be moderate. People will react. It's
that's what I'm saying. Me, an outside guy who's not on either side of that issue in that respect. I'm not from Israel. I'm an American watching this all unfold. I'm a guy that's trying to say like, hey, let's ask all the hard questions and fuck the people who say that you can ask these questions. That's why we do podcasts like this, and I fucking love it. But also, like, let's chill with some things. Let's not let the cart run away.
Well, I think we need to actually tell this advice to the people like the ADL and people Randy Fine, who are getting away with murder.
Of course.
I mean, if Randy Fine, his tweets about let the blood flow, let the blood flow. If you exchanged Palestinians to Jewish, this guy would be executed the next day. All right. Yeah. So now you blame someone like Dan Bilzerian, who might sometimes talk out of line, but sometimes take something, be a little bit uncomfortable, say something, and he.
I agree. Randy Fine's worse.
Yeah. So I'm just like sick and tired of every time if they both sided the stuff and they make it equal. It's like no, like Dan Bilzerian could be anything, but he's not controlling your Congress. Right. Dan Bilzerian is everything, but he is not taking your tax money to send it to commit a genocide. So and we can talk about the speech. And again, I'm not defending everything they said. I actually, when I was interviewed, it's like Dan, cool down a little bit. It's like no, this is what. Let's get some bitches. No, just kidding.
Maybe that's what it is. He's not distracted enough, you know?
Yeah, no.
He's to have fun distractions.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, you're out in L.A. though, too, right?
What?
But that's where you live, in L.A.
Yeah. No,
there's a lot of Jews out there.
Yeah, but many of them are actually my friends. Actually,
exactly.
Actually, many of them, one of them is actually, they're actually a comedian, a friend of mine. His name is Matt Lieb. And he has a podcast called Bad Hasbro. You should get him on your show. And he does it. Sometimes he's co-hosted by the son of Dr. Gabor Mate.
Oh yeah.
And they're both of them Jewish. And they are like funny as fuck. And they basically specializing in Israeli propaganda. That's their whole show. Cool. It is so funny. And he's a comedian. We work together. We travel together sometimes. Opening and I have a friend of mine. His name is David Spivak. He's Israeli Jewish. His father fought in the IDF, and I interviewed him. He's 100% anti-Zionist, anti-Israeli. And
what made that shift for him?
He talks about like how he was brainwashed like as a young kid in in the Sunday school, and he was told to fear all Muslims, and then he started like dealing with Muslims like this is reversed the brainwashing, and now and whether Matt or whether David and like many of them, they are excommunicated from their community. They are told that they're bad Jews. They're told that they're like self-hating Jews. They are like disowned by their own family, and these are the people who are doing the fight. These people. I mean, I am doing something might be a little bit difficult, but these people are going against their own people.
Yeah.
So when you have examples like these, like what's her name, Hannah Eidenberg, the girl that starred in Hacks on HBO when she received the Emmys. I think she received an Emmy award.
I don't think I saw this.
Yeah. Hannah Eisenberg, like she's in Hacks. Yeah. She's a young Jewish comedian, very funny, great show by the way. And when she was receiving her award, she talked about genocide, free Palestine. She's like, "Fuck ICE." Wow. We're like, like this is what happened in genocide, and she was slaughtered by Zionist media. They should go like oh, she's not a real Jew. So when Jewish people speak up, you shut them down.
Yeah.
And then you tell everybody, no, there's only one opinion, there's only one way to do it, and this is the Zionist way. And the Zionism equals Judaism, anti-Semitism equal anti-Zionism. Yeah,
that's my point. They start speaking for him.
So me and you, a few people might have a cool head about it, but certain people's like, fuck all Jews. There's all of them then. So if you're telling them that's the only example, I will just have this kind of reaction. And so it's I actually had a talk with a British professor. I had a tour in London last year, and I went into a discussion with him about during the war in Gaza, when we saw the Israeli soldiers going into Palestinians' homes and wearing lingerie, women's lingerie, and playing with the kids. And I said, first of all, no disciplined army in the world will allow their soldiers to do something unless it was encouraged or even or allowed, right? Mm-hmm. So you have them now displaying this. I mean, your visceral reaction is like, what the fuck are these people doing?
Right.
So I said, like, why would they allow this? It's like, well, it is by design. They want people to hate them. And then at a certain point, some people will conflate Israel, Zionism with Judaism, and someone will do or say something stupid, and then they will use that for further victimization
100%.
And the circle going on. So again, if it's not Dan Bilzerian, it is the Israeli soldier in lingerie. They are doing this to troll you, to push you to the limit. All they're like, yeah, we're gonna go to war, we're gonna kill them, we're gonna do this gritters. What are you gonna do about it? They want that reaction, because usually, if someone do something stupid, it will be done to a helpless Jew. someone who had nothing to do with this because he's not as protected. And then they will use the pain of that guy in order to further their victimization. The same way they did with Holocaust survivors. I don't know if you know this, but Israel is known to cash in the reparations from the German government, and they didn't give money to the survivors. As a matter of fact, there is articles about now there is they despise Holocaust survivor because they consider them the weak Jews with trembling knees. Now, so they actually they despise the people who really went through the
That's
camps.
crazy. Yeah, I believe it was Ronan Bergman in his book, or Rise and Kill First or whatever. If I'm remembering the wrong book and it's a different one I read, correct me in the comments if you recognize those people. But there's it's an anecdotal story, but it was based on the exact attitude you're talking about. There would be this group in like the 1960s of old men in downtown Jerusalem that would be playing pinochle, and 4 of them were in Israel or Palestine during the war, and one of them was a Holocaust survivor, and they used to call the Holocaust survivor soap.
Sabunim, by the way, which is soap, which is actually very close to the Hebrew word coward. It's a play on words.
Yeah.
Sabunim.
Because they couldn't understand. They're like, why wouldn't you just rise back? But it's not that simple, man. Yes, Israel has historically withheld, you cooked again, and delayed certain Holocaust reparation funds, drawing intense domestic and international criticism. The controversies generally stem from a few specific policies and administrative actions. Early reparations in the 1950s. In 1952 Luxembourg Agreement, West Germany agreed to pay reparations to the State of Israel, largely to offset the immense cost of absorbing 500,000 Holocaust survivors. While this went directly to the state rather than the individual survivors, the Israeli government defended this by arguing the money was necessary to build the country and ensure the murderers did not become the heirs of stolen property.
Yes, like we build the countries, we pay it for our government. It's crazy. Right?
It's crazy.
And I think there was also an article about the whole thing about there's how they despise the survivors, the Holocaust survivors, and this old idea about the Jews with the trembling knees. I remember that exact expression. And
they worked with like Skorzeny and some other ex-Nazis like Mossad did after the war.
There was like a whole, actually they worked with the Nazis in order, because here's the thing.
In Egypt too.
The Zionist leaders don't care about the regular everyday Jewish person.
Yeah.
They don't care.
I agree.
Yeah, so they care about the idea and Zionism, and the only way that you can be a Zionist is to have these horrible ideas and policies.
That's why I like to talk about it how I do, because I want to be able to, use my little teeny corner of the internet to separate those two, because I don't think it's fair to the people that they claim to speak for. It's like some of your friends, by the way. It's like it's so off, and it's really. It's just the epitome of evil, because they're trying to create that endless cycle that then gets them what they want. Hopefully more bodies over there so they can fill out more land.
Yeah. And they have the money to protect them, to provide for them, and they have the media to cover up for them.
Yeah, why does the media still not?
Well, I mean, anything that I would say in response to that would be considered anti-Semitic. Is it crazy now that like the truth itself is anti-Semitic? It is anti-Semitic to say the truth. And I had a conversation with an American diplomat once. It was a heated conversation. I said, it was in the middle of genocide. Israel's doing this genocide. And then he said, well, the average American citizen does not care about what's happening in Palestine. The average American citizen cares about healthcare, about the daily school shooting, about the immigration status, about the... Just no. This is what the media is telling them to care about. The media is... they always pitting like the issues and the sides against each other. And then maybe at the end, they will tell you something about the Middle East, and the beginning it will always start by something that Israel is suffering from, and then maybe they will. So that's why you create the interest. You create that. So it is by design. It is by design that the Americans don't care about the Middle East, because if the media would hit what Israel is doing, taking away our money, the same way that they would hit whatever they want about, like, the healthcare and whatever, and hours and hours and hours and hours of coverage, Americans will care, but it is by design that they will not care.
How about the fact, though, that so many people, especially younger generations, are online now, where a lot of this is less filtered?
So it's interesting that you say that. Like, so the big wake-up call after October 7th happened on which platform?
It happened
TikTok.
yeah.
And where's TikTok now?
I see what you're doing here. Yeah. Yeah.
You see?
Remember all the same people that wanted it to be shut down
because of the China. Because of China.
Well, now we got to sell it to
and which is why it's like, oh, we cannot allow, our information to be on a Chinese platform. Bitch, you create your iPhones in China. Like the hardware comes from China. What the hell are you talking about? So so you see, they're playing catch up. Like TikTok is a problem. Let's buy TikTok. Oh,
remember that phone call?
Yeah, remember? Oh yeah, the phone calls. Like,
we've been playing this left-right game.
It's not a left game. It's not a right game. We have a TikTok problem. So it is there in your face, and we speak about it, and you tell they control the media. That's anti-Semitic. Dude, they literally do. They design this, control the media, right? They do control the media. You have one person who's now owning half of the media, and the other platform already owned by
Ellison.
Today Ellison, and also in that's why, for example, I'll give you an example of how the media covers up. You remember the sting operation in Nevada?
The sting operation.
The sting operation. The FBI, the guy who the child, the Israeli cybersecurity guy.
Yeah, he just got extradited,
and he got extradited the next day. He was in Nevada.
You're talking about Alexandrovich,
exactly.
who was the Israeli official.
Exactly.
And now you see the other one now?
Yeah, there's another one.
The Ori guy?
Yeah, but you see, I went to ChatGPT and I said, has this thing has been covered by any of the major outlets? I said, no.
No.
So what they do, they would cover up because in the podcast podcasts like Patrick Pitt Davis and all of the pro-Zionist stuff, they would mention it, but then they would just muddle the conversation. They would just so now even with the podcast, they have their people in the podcasts too. You either buy it or you just flood the medium with shit. So in the order is not, the idea is not to win the debate. The idea is not have a debate. The idea is to keep the debate going.
To muddy the waters with too much noise.
And keep the debate going. Just keep the debate.
How does that end?
And so it becomes like noise. And after people exhausted, you wake up the next day, Israel has annexed another piece of land.
Yeah, you have a point there. I mean, that's kind of exactly what we just saw, actually. To be clear,
yeah.
And
you talk about, we have free speech. We talking about, and as me and you talking, Israel has just killed 15 people in Lebanon. We talk about it. We don't know. It's Israel. No, what can you do? But Israel has a right to exist. What is the proportion this month? And then before they wake up the next day, Israel has annexed 200 kilometers of Lebanon. And then they have destroyed five houses in the West Bank. They are buying time while they're doing the same thing. So now you have this illusion of freedom of speech. We're talking. But with just doing that, we're talking, and then they're just doing whatever they want.
Well, he brought a bazooka, so I don't know if he's going to do something with that. That's sitting out in the living room.
Oh my God, another Arab stereotype. Oh yeah,
exactly.
Allahu Akbar. That's to America. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know what? I find it funny. You know how the stereotypes of Arab speaking, there's more in Hebrew more than Arabs. Hebrew is full of and all of the movies that what they have produced making fun of Arabs were
they do that?
Yeah, they have the there's actually more in Hebrew, and they made it to be like an Arab thing. It's a Hebrew thing. I mean, we have it, but it's more magnified. Okay, can I give you a little bit of a tidbit? Do you remember the movie The Dictator?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I remember that scene when he was in the helicopter and he was talking to this guy, and there's two older couple, and there's like a 9/11. He was speaking Hebrew. No. He was speaking Hebrew with a bastardized Arab accent.
No.
Yeah. Like I'm not saying he's speaking Hebrew, but they used like a lot of Hebrew words, and they made it look as if
it's Arabic.
Yeah.
That's how they get you over time. Mm-hmm. It is something.
There's some other people also spoke Hebrew in some recording in some plane.
Do enlighten me on that one. Mm-hmm. I think I'm unfamiliar.
No, you can look it up for yourself afterwards.
We're not getting that one. I mean, we've gone this far.
No, I mean, it's not verified. It's not verified. There's like, a video, but again, it could be anything. It could be, but there was like a recording of people, but I don't know the authenticity of this video. Like,
okay.
Right.
So could have been one of them AI things.
Yeah. Okay. So like, I'll talk to you later after the show. Like, but I'm not gonna stand behind this because I cannot verify it.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
You got to stop at the cliff before you jump off.
Yeah. You have to ease up with the conspiracy theory. Just like scale it back.
Well, it's not a conspiracy theory. The fact that in the literal White House manual or whatever you want to call it, release of Operation Epic Fury, they're literally saying what they had already said in some press conferences out loud, which is that the war in Iran itself was started. Can we get the words right so I don't fuck this up, Deef? But we'll find it.
It started because Israel was going to do it, so we went in.
Yes.
This is the funniest analogy. It's like, we went in because we knew that Israel would bomb and the Iranians would respond. So it's like he was like, hey, I killed your dog because I knew that if I hit him, he will bite me back. So I just killed him.
Operation Epic Fury, White House.
Actually, Marco Rubio said it.
Marco Rubio said it out loud, and Mike Johnson said it separately out loud the same day. And that same day, Donald Trump implied it. He didn't quite explicitly say it, but peace through strength. Operation Epic Fury crushes Iranian threat as ceasefire takes hold. Can we search Israel in there just to do a find next? Because This was it was the one earlier where they were. This is before the ceasefire. It might be this one, yeah. Operation Epic Fury. Go to Twitter and pull up, because I want to make sure we get this just so people know we're not talking out of our ass. I know a lot of people have seen this. Operation Epic Fury, White House, Israel. And go down. Go down. Or I think White House admits.
Yeah, go up. No, up, go up. Yeah, here it is.
Trump's proposed deal threatens to leave Iran stronger. Nah, because that's when the deal was going through.
Yeah.
This is when they were literally talking about why they went into the war. And I know people out there have seen this. Like this.
Yeah.
And we were in a previous podcast, we were on the actual link, the White House link.
Saying, what did we search up for that?
White House admits. I don't even know.
Yeah,
it's funny. They're like burying.
They like the shorthand of this is like they admitted that they went in because they knew that Israel would hit Iran and Iran would respond, so they went in so they would hit Iran. So
it's crazy, and it's like, my whole thing is the world is so complex. You can't just fucking invade everywhere you don't like.
We all know for sure, Heidi. We all know why America is fighting the war in Iran. We all know, right? Mm-hmm. Because the president of the United States is a fucking pedophile.
So you're certain.
Hey, the conspiracy theorists have been right many times.
It's possible. Oh, Deef got it, just so we have it. Epic Fury is only the latest round of an ongoing international armed conflict with Iran, as the United States has explained in multiple letters to UN Security Council, including most recently on March 10th. The United States is engaged in the conflict at the request of and in the collective self-defense of its Israel ally, as well as, I love that they threw this in here at the end, as well as in the exercise of the United States' own inherent right to self-defense.
Self-defense against what?
Self-defense.
And I like the fact that and in the collective self-defense of what's the collective? What's a collective self-defense? Is it different than the individual self-defense? What is this? I mean, there's so many things that is wrong with this statement. And I love Epic Fury is only the latest round of the latest episode of an ongoing international armed conflict with Iran. It's a thing now. It's like it's season 5.
I think it's fucking season 25. But it frustrates me so much.
Can you go down there?
Conversation.
Iran's attack on the United States, Israel, and others. Can you go down a little bit? Because no. After yes. Are they mentioning 1983 in Lebanon in the Marines? Yes.
Yeah, U.S. Marines in Lebanon, 1983, which killed 241 U.S. service members.
So you know the story about this one.
Yeah, this is the Beirut bombings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please enlighten people.
So 1983 there was like an attack that was sponsored by Iran. There was like an a van with explosives that went into the Marine headquarters and killed the Marines. And basically, this is like why America left Lebanon. And there's a story behind this. There's a book called By Way of Deception by Victor Ostrovsky, who was an ex-Mossad agent. And he talked about like how Israel was so...
Steve's losing it over.
Why?
He goes, ex-Mossad agent. Steve goes, another one.
Yeah. So he's an ex-Mossad agent. And Victor Ostrovsky say in his book that Israel was so upset at America because America interfered, because this happened after Israel invasion of Lebanon, 1982, which, by the way, before anything called Hezbollah even existed. And they went in, and America had like their Marine station there. So the Israelis said like, we don't need a chaperone. And they were like very upset at the Americans. So Israel had very, very, very like confirmed information about a blue Mercedes-Benz van that has explosive and will go in and blow up the Marines. And they deliberately gave the Americans very vague instructions, very vague thing. And then they actually, one of the commanders of the Israeli command said like, they're like a big country, let them deal with this itself. So they would have actually saved the 241 Americans. Whoa. And they let it happen to them. And you can look that look at that shit up, because you can't leave me now. Come on, are you tired? What, your fingers are cramping? Come on, man, am I giving you too much work? So, by way of deception, Victor Ostrovsky, the Beirut attack or Lebanon attack, Marines attack.
And so he's ex-Mossad.
Yeah, he's ex-Mossad, yeah. And he has actually speeches, and like I talk about like how the Mossad works. He defected. And by
he
the way,
defected.
By Way of Deception was a book that was published in 1991, and for the first and only time. Okay, read this because I have the allegation, the claim. Ostrovsky alleged that the Mossad intercepted intelligence regarding an explosive-laden truck in Beirut, but failed to pass specific or actionable warning details to the American counterparts.
And then the response, the Israeli government and former intelligence officials vehemently denied these allegations, characterizing the book as an amalgamation of few facts and many fabrications.
The same way that they vehemently refused the allegation of sterilizing Ethiopian women, they never bombed the stuff in Iraq, like the synagogues in Iraq. They never stole the Yemeni children. You see, like how at what point can you just stop listening to whatever they say, because they are lying 100% of the time. So
that's the thing. Even if it's not 100, everyone's gonna righteously think it is.
Yeah, if someone lies to you every single time, like there's a point was what, I don't trust you.
It's boy who cried wolf.
I really don't trust you.
Yep.
So yeah, Victor. So anyway, Victor's Ostrovsky book, By Way of Deception, there was a gag order against him by an American court, and this was the one and only time in American history a book was prevented from having a gag order against it in 1991, and it was turned over like in a year. So she was just like gag order.
Yeah, let's find that.
Gag
in
order,
America.
In America, gag order by way of deception. You see, I'm making
crazy.
your boy work today.
Oh, Steve's on it, man. Steve's the best in the biz.
Yes.
Gag order in 1991.
Gag order 1991 by way of deception, Victor Ostrovsky.
Maybe they supplanted it from the internet at this point.
Maybe.
Don't leave behind.
Have you noticed like how now you ask like AI anything about Israel? There are claims. There are unverified claims. See how like it's like, hey ChatGPT, what the fuck?
Yeah, we had one I just talked about on a recent podcast about a year ago.
It's still there? Yes, By Way of Deception is a controversial book, 1990 book by former Mossad Victor.
and journalist Claire Hoy. The Israeli government obtained temporary Canadian gag order in Canada to halt its publication. However, an appeals court quickly threw out the injunction, allowing the paperback to release in 1991, which became a bestseller.
I remember reading it was American. Maybe I got it wrong, but
either way, Canada was doing. What the fuck did they?
Yeah.
What's going on in Canada?
Yeah, they're eating a lot of poutine.
I guess.
Yeah, it was Canada, not America. My bad. But again, Canada. I mean, Canada is 51st state, so it's still America.
Well, they're trying to make it that at Greenland.
Greenland would be there by 52nd, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Puerto Rico. I don't know how that one hasn't gotten the 51st yet. I feel like they kind of deserve it.
They're kind of we like you, but not that much.
Yeah, you stay over there.
We like Puerto Rico. Yeah, you can.
I fucking love Puerto Ricans, bro. Y'all can come in.
You can have just I don't know if we can commit to this. We're just gonna
We're just
gonna suck away your resources and give you a little bit of rights.
But we're going to Cuba.
Yeah, baby. I mean,
you strapping up? You gonna fight for your new country?
I fight maybe I should just accept the fact that I'm a citizen of the empire.
Yeah,
it's maybe I'm gonna go and spend my American money in Cuba before Israel gets it, and
before Israel gets it. I haven't heard a goddamn. I'll defend him there. I haven't heard a goddamn thing about Israel and Cuba. Is that a thing now?
No, I'm saying I'm gonna use the money, and spend it somewhere in Cuba before Israel gets it, because Israel gets my money anyway.
Oh, okay, all right. Sorry, I fucked up the joke.
No, I mean, I
thought you were they're coming in.
Before Israel gets my money. But that was a good joke.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hey, you should. We
work both ways.
As a matter of fact, we wouldn't put it past Israel for some reason, invading Havana because they need to defend themselves.
What?
They need to defend. There's too many cigars in Havana, and the smoke is hurting our lungs. Oh my God, I'm so victimized.
Havana poses an existential risk to Israel. Have you seen all those videos of the people having a sleep paralysis demon, but it's Netanyahu? People are on the bed like this, and he's like, "You must defend Israel."
Yeah. Oh man, I have to say, Netanyahu. No, he was recently diagnosed by prostate cancer.
Yeah, but he was diagnosed a while ago, and then got treatment, right?
and I know, I know that a lot of people are celebrating, but as a former doctor, I find it even for myself, I find it very sometimes difficult to joke about disease and death, because I can't just help but just feel bad for the cancer, because. Yeah, fuck this guy and his prostate.
I thought you had me.
I thought there was a little bit of heart here left.
I knew it was possibly going there, but I'm like, you might actually, yeah.
As a matter of fact, out of all cancers in the world, that prostate cancer in Netanyahu's ass is the only cancer that's allowed to defend itself. It is the only cancer that has the right to exist. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Netanyahu's prostate was promised to that cancer 3,000 years ago.
Oh, this is fun.
I think they pulverized his ass. And just I think they went too far with radio and just
with radio.
Yeah, radiology, radiotherapy, and I think if I was a doctor, I would just just cut Netanyahu in half, just remove his lower half, and if that's too much, it's I don't know what a proportionate response is.
He's got singers, man. He's got singers. Tag after tag. What did he say yesterday about Gaza? You see that? It's on definitely on Twitter. Netanyahu's 60% Gaza.
90%.
Yeah, but he was saying we already have 60%.
We have already no. I think that it went like this. It's we already have 60% and we're going to take 90%. And then somebody shouted in the audience we want it all. It's yes, but we have to go in order.
Oh my God! All right, let's hear it in his own words. Netanyahu orders seizures 70% of Gaza in direct defiance.
I don't know if they have the guy.
We are in the process where our power, we can manage our power in many directions. If we need to further crush Hezbollah, we are currently dealing with Hamas. We are now 60% of the Gaza Strip territory. We were at 50 and we moved to 60. My direction is to reach audience 100. He goes, we can start gradually. First to 70. Let's start with that. That's fucking crazy.
It's like, you know the peace treaty, the peace agreement that all of the countries in the world
everything
said,
that guy said bullshit.
Remember when we agreed that we're gonna take like 55% of Gaza, we're gonna take 60. Now we're like, fuck the world, fuck the UN, fuck you guys, we're gonna take all of it. And then the guys are like 100%. Yeah, but we're gonna go
gradually.
to 70.
He's my cousin Vinny and us.
Yeah,
it's like everything that guy just said bullshit.
Hey, we need just to take our time killing them. It just you need to let the sauce just get on the fire and then get the pasta and then we take a time.
Have you ever read his autobiography?
Whack them. What?
You ever read his autobiography?
His autobiography? Dude, I don't want to be cursed.
I think you should. I mean this genuinely. I think you should read it. He tells you who he is.
Well, he tells us every day.
I know, but like this is. But like
can I say
my life?
But like kind of like a sidetrack here, like because I know that we all hate fucking Netanyahu and he deserves it. But I just want to make it clear the problem is not Netanyahu. It's not like if Netanyahu loses tomorrow, Israel is a nice democratic country.
Oh no,
the whole system is fucking genocidal. Right? Like
the whole system,
the whole government is fucking. And I have to say, the Israeli society, there's something wrong with this society. And I don't care if people.
What about all the people in the streets who are very clearly against this?
So there is people against it, but like you understand that the 82% of people in Israel, you can actually pull up these statistics. They support what's happening in Gaza.
82%.
82%. And I yeah, you just say 82% of Israeli. I'm like, you'll find it. There's so many. There's something. There's 70. There's 80. There's 90. And because the question differs. Do you approve of like the ethnic cleansing? Do you approve of the war in Gaza? And the vast majority of the Israeli society approve of that. I'm sure that you've seen all of these. Yes, 82% of Jewish Israelis back expelling Gaza. Dude. I am cooking. I'm even getting you the percentages. Cooking. I mean, it wasn't.
You are cooking.
It was the Canadian.
Can I read this too? Because you got it. Yeah. 20 years ago, Rabbi Yitzhak Ginsburg, the spiritual father of the Hilltop Youth, sketched out his vision for destroying Israel's democratic institutions and establishing supremacy.
Jewish supremacy. Oh my God, hard saying that.
After October 7th, it seems that his vision is coming to fruition. A recent survey of Israeli Jews reveals a growing comfort with the idea of forcibly expelling Palestinians both from Gaza and from within Israel's borders. The poll also found that a significant minority supports the mass killing of civilians in enemy cities captured by the Israeli army. These disturbing trends reflect the radicalization of religious Zionism since Israel's 2005 withdrawal from Gaza and the failure of secular Israeli Jews to articulate a vision. We have the article.
Yeah, did you see that? They say they support forcibly expelling Palestinians both from Gaza and from within Israeli borders.
From within.
So even the Arab Israelis.
Are they include? Is that including like the West Bank?
The Israeli borders. The Israeli borders. So inside Israel, there's 20% Arabs, right? So now you have 82. What can you say about a community, about a society with 82% wanting to expel a whole race, who, by the way, originally belonged to the land. So I'm just like done with like, it's just Netanyahu. Oh no.
It was never just him.
No. It's not. It's Netanyahu. It's the government. It's the people who support him. Basically 82%. I mean, they might go with another party, but that other party has the same exact genocidal thoughts.
What's crazy is that like the guys after him are actually worse.
Yeah. Can you imagine if 82% of white Americans said like, we need to kill we need to expel all black people and expel all immigrants?
That'd be insane.
Yeah, 82%.
Insane.
82%. Can you imagine? So that's 8 out of 10 Israelis.
And that was done by the way, I'm seeing this right here. That was done by Tamir Sorek for the Israeli polling firm Geocartography Knowledge Group. So it was an Israeli group.
Yeah, it's an Israeli group. It's something published in an Israeli group. Yeah. You never see that in American media.
Yeah.
Because I wish I would have like the New York Times, like 82 of Israelis want the Arabs gone. You never see that kind of article in America, but like you see it in Israeli media all the time, which is crazy.
How do you change that?
It
goes back to your question again.
Dude, it's already fucked up.
I'm just
like, you're putting me in the shit. It's like, what can you do? It's like, shit. I mean, he can't just, but it's like putting me in Mars. Breathe. It's like, there's no oxygen.
Yeah.
I didn't. Oh my God, I didn't. I should have used that from the beginning of the interview. Yes.
It's got a different voice. It's got different settings. So every time you hit it, it's someone new.
Oh my God, that's so.
Hit it.
I love that.
That's
Can
really
I take
good,
that with me?
No.
I should have used this tool in like maybe answering half of your questions.
That might have worked. It might have worked.
Yes.
So we had this ceasefire though, back in the fall.
Yeah.
And it's kind of seeming like they're not following it at all.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, every time they have a ceasefire, but they're killing people every day. You can actually find how many Palestinians were killed since the ceasefire? How many Palestinians, how many Lebanese killed since the ceasefire? There is like thousands of Lebanese killed. Nobody talks about Lebanon. Nobody talks about Lebanon.
I've been talking about Lebanon.
Yeah, of course, and thank you. But what I'm saying is, it's not even in the frame of a conversation. Right. People are talking about Iraq. Like, dude, there's a quarter of a country that's being annihilated. That is not inside Israel. That's not Gaza. That is now there, and of course, there you have to use something. It's Hezbollah. It's Hamas. It's something like
in Gaza. At least 904 Palestinians have been killed since October 2025 ceasefire. In Lebanon, more than 400 people have been killed by Israeli strikes following the April 2026, the recent one, ceasefire agreement, with over 3,000 total fatalities since hostilities escalated.
And so people are being killed every day. What ceasefire? What ceasefire, right. Man? I think this is all is just like for media consumption. Oh, we have a ceasefire, we have talks, we have negotiations, but on the ground, the killing never stopped, the war never stopped. So it's just like a way to just like make, there's ceasefire, we don't have to talk about Gaza anymore. And meanwhile, they're taking 50%, 60%, 70% as we're speaking.
Yeah. And every time that we went to make ceasefires in Iran, they would try to escalate to stop the ceasefire from happening. That's what really pissed me off.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you're sending our guys in boots to Iran because you're not sending your guys there. You're bombing from the air, but you're not sending boots on the ground. You want our boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And then every time we're trying to de-escalate the situation, you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, because they're not fighting with their own people. They're not fighting with their own money. They're fighting with our money, with our troops. And if you speak about this, like how dare you disrespect the troops who are fighting for Israel?
No, but that's a difference. In 2003, you talk to a lot of guys that went into the wars then, like they're just going in based on what they're told and everything, and they don't have the access to information as much. There are guys now that they're going into these wars and they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They have social media. They have the internet. They're like, why are we here? That's not good in any way for long-term morale of the military, and I worry about that because then, you just hear some of the way...
And also, like, even strategically, if we consider that our biggest enemy in the world is China, and there's Taiwan and everything, you have been exhausted and drained into these conflicts against Iran. I mean, Iran is like a mini Vietnam for us.
100%.
The billion, like we spent what 30? How much did we spend at the beginning of the war in Iran? Like
the beginning of the war was right away. It was 12 billion.
Yeah,
right away.
Yeah, I think we crossed 30 or 40 million, but then
billion.
And then we have very expensive weapon that has been depleted.
Yes.
And it takes years and more money out of our pocket because 70% of our budget goes to the military. $7 out of every $10 that you earn go to these missiles that get boom.
The U.S. has spent an estimated $29 billion on direct military operation in Iran,
I said
alongside $21.7 billion in military aid. I'm sorry. Does that say $21.7 billion in military aid and arms to Israel?
Yes. So $15 billion. $50 billion.
Wait, what? Whoa.
You didn't know?
I didn't know it was that high for this war.
No, it's actually, other estimates said it's $30 billion to Israel.
What?
Yeah, under Biden and Trump.
But hold on. This is what I mean though. This is from Iran.
No. That the $21 billion was like, I think, from the beginning of October 7th.
All right, so since October 7th, because it's not, the beginning is the U.S. has spent an estimated $21 billion on direct military operations in Iran, and then it says this next part, which makes it sound like this is also since Iran started, but I hope it's not, because that would make it way worse. It's already bad.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, U.S. military. Okay, yes. So it's referring to October.
Oh, thank
23.
God! It's just like since
it's
October.
It's just 2 years.
We didn't just blow up $21 billion in 2 weeks. We spent it over 3 years, which for an ROI is just like a meter way, just like a way they phased out the payments. Oh, thank God! It's not. It didn't just happen last month.
Jesus Christ. Do you think this situation...
And you know what's really crazy?
What's that?
You are spending all of this money to Israel, a country that has free healthcare, universal education, and affordable housing, and now you have here like homelessness. You have like people are struggling to get their healthcare, and they're basically piggybacking on our backs. And I said this before, and I say it again. The relationship between America and Israel is a parasitic relationship. And Israel reminds me with a parasite called cordyceps.
Cordyceps.
And a lot of people know the cordyceps. They have heard about it. In this show, The Last of Us, when there's a fungus that usually infects insects that now infect humans. And what this, in nature, what this fungus does when they infect an insect, like an ant, it eats the ant from inside, right? That parasite. And then it eats its brain. And then the ant is dead, but now the parasite was able to control the nervous system of the ant. So now the ant is moving. It's like a zombie. This is actually what happened in The Last of Us. So now you can do cordyceps, ants. So and then it uses this ant in order to send spores in order to reproduce. Zombie ant fungus. So basically, I always say it's called Ophiucordyceps. So cordyceps. So and I said like we need to stop Israel, so we don't turn into zombies like that show, The Last of Us, because Israel will not stop until they kill every single last of us, every single last one of us. So this is, So
I hope you're wrong, but there's.
I hope I'm wrong, but right now, as we're speaking, I'm right. We just saw the figures. This is the amount of aid that we're giving it to a first world country with nuclear weapons that are not declared.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And the fact that they don't declare those weapons either is also, that just sits so wrong with me.
No,
when they're litigating all these issues based on the fact that countries like Iran might get a nuclear weapon. It's like, well,
no, I like it when they go out on the interviews and say like, does Israel has nuclear weapons? Well, Israel has not wanted to act. They did not attack anybody. Duh. well,
that's not what I asked.
Well, we are not terrorists. We are the good guys, so we are allowed to have weapons if we have it. But we're not saying that we do. Right. But if we do, it will be justified. But doesn't mean that we have it. But don't ask the question.
I just don't understand how all these presidents have always known that and not at some point someone say something publicly like,
well, if you say something, you know what will happen to you. If you try to stand against the nuclear weapon and you go to Texas.
And you go to Texas.
For a visit. And then that will be your last visit. Because you dared to stand against their nuclear programming in 19...
That took a minute.
61.
Oh, man. Well, dude, this has been a lot of fun to talk with you. Obviously, strange times, and I know some of it, like, you get through comedically, but it is important that people have the conversations, and if it's part of it's because they're entertained by how you put it out there, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I think like every day we're just like looking at the news and we're just like, seeing that what's happening, and we can all say one thing.
WTF. Bassem Youssef.
Thank you so much.
Great having you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Everybody else, you know what it is. Give it a thought. Get back to me. Peace. What's up, guys? Thanks so much for watching the video. If you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button before you leave, as well as leaving a like on the video. It's a huge, huge help. You can join my Patreon via the link in the description, and you can also join my clipping community via the Discord link down below. See you for the next episode.